Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nishtaki. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Savana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritam Misha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhesya Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, sorry, Canto 4. 6 is going into Canto 4, Chapter 14 now. So we just discussed the first verse yesterday. Go ahead. So this story of King Will. Veermataram ahuya Sunitam Brahmavadina Prakritiya Sammatam Vena Abhyakshana Patim Prabha.
Great said is that God of the people is Sutta. And with the third permission, they extol Vena on the throne as master of the God. All the ministers, however, disagreed with this.
So ministers were not in agreement because they had seen that this Vena is a very dangerous type of person. But see, they had associated with Anga till now. For the ministers, they had such a wonderful person to associate with. Now, imagine after Anga type of person, if you get a Vena type of person, how will they cooperate with? So, but then they had consulted, sages had consulted Sunita. Sunita happens to be the mother of Vena. So, mother has always some soft corner for the child. When Didi was told about Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh, not told about, but Prabhuji Radhanath Maharaj was telling that if she is asked that, hey, you're talking that Indra killed these fellows, actually Vishnu killed first of all, but even if he killed, what atrocity they were doing, you did not see? They were little mischievous. So, for the sentimental attachment which the person carries, there is always some leniency that the person gets. Like, my son is not so bad. So she was sentimentally attached. So she will always agree. So this is also called as nepotism. Nepotism. And nepotism means giving favor to one's own relatives by your own position. Your position is there. So that position, where suppose someone uses for favoring his own relative or family member. So we should be careful. Like Sunita was also Sunita nahi. Sunita to here वहाँ पे Suruchi told that Maya's son should only sit above from. So a feeling of seeing through one's own descendant that I am ruling. Like Dhritarashtra wanted Duryodhan to rule, although Duryodhan is not fit for ruling. So we should see whether when we are dealing with the position of a leader, do we anytime like we feel a favor towards our own son? When we read Pitu Maharaj section, it will come that even if his own son, if he is punishable, he will punish. And if the enemy's son is worthy to be posted on a post, then he will post. That means he will not be partial. So to see this way, this for nepotism, that some subordinate of mine, mera hai na, then to feel that is bodily consciousness. So anyway, see the Brahmanas here were wise people, and they saw that at least like blind uncle is better than no uncle, because thieves and rogues are rising, so better put Vena on the throne, and then we will deal with the rest of it. At least he will curb the rogues and thieves, and that's what happened also. He could curb the rogues and thieves, but he himself was a big rogue. Like bada gunda aa gaya. The छोटे गुंडे सब शांत हो गए. So anyway, but they later corrected that situation also. The ministers were not happy with that idea. Anyway, we'll read ahead now. You can read the translation.
It was already known that Vena was very severe and cruel. Therefore, as soon as all the thieves and rogues of the state heard of his ascendance to the royal throne, they became very much afraid of him. Indeed, they hid themselves here and there as bats hide themselves in snails.
So they were ready. So Prabhupada writes, see the yellow part.
When the government is very strong, all the thieves and rogues disappear or hide themselves.
So, like when the cat is away, the rats will play. So, basically, when the government is strong, then it can curb. So, it is very important that the government also executes dharma by protecting people against rogues and thieves. If it just says that I want to be goody in everyone's books, then rogues and thieves will have a great time. They will flourish. So Prabhupada is writing in that first line. The government is very weak, rogues and thieves flourish. So if like we'll see sometimes when the person is like this Prithu Maharaj's son, what was his name? Vijitashva. So whenever he saw Indra doing some that he was stealing the earth and taking, but he was in sannyasi. So he would not punish him anyway. So later on, actually he was very lenient also in his behavior, general behavior. So later on also, after Prithu Maharaj, he could not be a king because he was too mild. So king cannot be always mild. The king is always mild, then rogues and thieves will flourish. So we have to see, surely that does not mean we should become cruel people. Like Veda was another, like, so there has to be strong government, strong leadership, which can keep the rogues and thieves in bay. They will fear him. Let's read the next
one. When the king ascended to the throne, he became all powerful with 8 kinds of offices. Consequently, he became too proud. By virtue of his false prestige, he considered himself to be greater than anyone. Thus, he began to insult great persons.
Now he got power. So this verse is very good. Good means it tells all the bad qualities. Sa arudo nipasthana unnadostha bhuti avamene mahabharan patabda sambhavikasata. So in this, if you see of course, Vishnu Chakravarti and Prabhupada elaborates on Ashta Vibhuti, that means 8 opulences. That means his rule was all over the world. And sometimes, Vedic times, the kings also had Ashtasiddhis. They also could execute mystic siddhis. But here, Vajashambhu was elaborating on these 4 words. They are qualities that a leader should give up. Unnada, he was very proud. As soon as the power comes, you want to test a person's character, then you give him power. So Unnada means he was very proud. Avamene Mahabhagan, he began to insult great personalities. So he is not thinking himself as a servant of great personality, rather he is thinking himself autonomous, and great personalities have to bow down to him. He's insulting great personalities. Like this Nahusha story also. See, Nahusha was very humble person actually. When the sages approached him, when the demigods and all, they found that actually there's no one. When Indra had gone for, he had done his mistake and he was atoning in the which Sarovar? Some Sarovar, no? Manasarovar. So when he was in the that time they were trying to find who can be the eligible candidate, and they found this earthly personality, Nahusha. He's a good person. He has got some pride, that credits to become an Indra. And when he was approached, he told that actually I'm not qualified, and if I take this post, I will become proud also. So I don't want to take. They said, no, 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 you take, And then he became proud also. And he took the post. After that, he wanted to enjoy with Sachi. And Sachi Devi approached the Saptarishis. And the Saptarishis said, oh, he has become very proud. So you tell that you should be carried in a palanquin, lifted by the Saptarishis. And when you come there, then I will allow you to enjoy with me. So he said, okay. This Nahusha told, okay for this. And Nahusha told the Saptarishis, go, Sarpa, go fast. And then one of the Saptarishis cursed him. That was the end of his Indra pastime. Whatever. So person becomes proud. Then see, pride leads to offenses. That is Unnada Avamene Mahabhagan, Stabda, inconsiderate and stubborn. That means my way is the highway. Mujhe pata hai sab kuch. And some bhava considered great. So these kind of high-centric ideas should be very carefully guarded against in our hearts. Whatever place we are in, whatever post of service we get, we should be careful to guard it. Okay. Eva madanda utsikto hiram kusha iva dipa paryatan vratam mastaya kampayan iva rodasi.
When he became overly blind due to his opulences, he made a morbid chariot like an uncontrolled elephant, began to travel through the kingdom, watching the sky and to enter wherever he went.
So one word which is mentioned is Madanda. Madanda. There is Kamanda, Krodanda, Madanda. Madanda means blind in power. It is also with pride. Blind with pride also. So Chikta refers to pride, proud. And he had become what? Nira Ankusha Dupa, uncontrolled elephant. See, Ankush, you've seen that Ankush small, that whip whip exactly. Whatever. Something is there which the elephant, goad was the elephant goad was. So they can control the elephant by that. So elephant, actually the person who is controlling the elephant is like a small guy only. The elephant can lift him in the trunk and chutney bana sakta. But it is his good side that the elephant wants to remain subservient to that. What do we call that person? Mouth. Mouth. No, the person who controls it. The person who rides the elephant and controls it. So anyway, elephant can also be controlled, but this guy had become blind. Prabhupada is writing overly blind. So opulence is blind a person. We see, you can tell some past tense, some other past, many past tense are there. The opulence is blind. Huh? Hiranyakashipu, we thought now abhi sab ho gaya. I've got power to never be. Sugriva also. Sugriva was a good person, but suddenly when he got so much of self-gratificatory opportunity, he forgot only. Then Lakshman had to come to bring him to senses. And Hanumanji helped him also. Any other? The Yadu dynasty, the young fellows, Samba. Okay. Any other? Nalgur Manigri. There also it comes that they were also Stamba, they were proud of them. blind on opulence. Yeah. So like this we can see, actually we have to guard against opulent life. As brahmacharis, even more we have to think that the brahmachari life is a seeker of the truth. But if we become blind by opulences, then we may lose our longing to get Krishna. That strong longing, that hankering that if I don't get Krishna, there is nothing in my life. Like when Mother Rukmini came out of the Durga temple, so she lifted her gungat to see where is Krishna. And by seeing her divine face, all these Shishupal's company, the friends of Shishupal, they all fainted in seeing the beauty. And they were also lusty fellows. So they all fainted and fell from the horses. And then our Krishna came and tuk 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 and just say, filmy hero ki taraf. He just lifted lifted Mother Rukmini and took. But there one beautiful description comes of Mother Rukmini. Her eyes were just going restlessly to see where is Krishna. To see so many people are falling, fainting by seeing her beauty. So imagine someone becomes a powerful preacher. Either bola to log faint hota, either lakhs of people want to hear your lecture. Guruji kya bola, ye hua, wo hua. So you become mesmerized, then we are losing our search for Krishna. Unlike Rukmini. Rukmini was not getting mesmerized. Dekho kitne log faint ho rahe mera beauty dekh. So all the talents that we have should not make us become proud or lost from our search for Krishna. We want to get offered to Krishna, not to these lusty fellows. We want to be offered to Krishna. And someone will say, actually, I am not showing talent like beauty, bro. I'm showing my Vak Shakti. Vak Shakti, which is making them Krishna. So I think I'm empowered by Krishna, bro. Actually, that empowerment by Krishna should also come with humility. Otherwise, there may be empowerment by talent, not by Krishna. Because that talent has also come by Krishna. But the first installment of mercy of Krishna can give us opulence. But a more important installment of mercy gives us humility. So that way, real opulence is having genuine humility. Okay, this verse will be solved. Na yashtavyam na datavyam na hotavyam jajakvache iti nagar dharmam eri ghoshen sarvasha.
All but twice one Brahmanas were forbidden and forbidden to perform any sacrifice, and they were also forbidden to give charity or offer life and butter. Thus, King Vena founded cattle from road the countryside. In other words, he stopped all kinds of religious influence.
The word is saying, ना यष्टव्यम कोई sacrifice नहीं होना चाहिए, ना दातव्यम कोई charity नहीं करना चाहिए, ना होतव्यम कोई. See, and what is he doing? Very घोषणा. सुनो 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 गांव वाले सुनो, अभी से सारे लोग यज्ञ बंद कर दो, अभी कोई यज्ञ नहीं चलने वाला. Like that it is. Actually, it is never है. He was see what is the meaning? He stopped by doing very घोषणा. Kettle drums with sound. So you see, the Vedic culture, this was the case. आज घोषणा करी जाती है, आज के बाद कोई ये नहीं करेगा. Like this Qazi also, no? Qazi? नहीं, Nawab Hussain Shah. नहीं, Qazi had told that there should be no Sankirtan being heard and no Hindu practices should be done. And when our devotees were chanting Hare Krishna and she was stuck at home, then his soldiers broke the Mridangam. So some fellows are against the plan of the Lord. So Prabhupada writes in the Purport, read the yellow parts.
Governments may issue declarations to stop religious movements. Therefore, same people should execute Krishna consciousness very seriously so that they can go back to God without having to further suffer the miserable conditions predominant in this universe.
It is mentioned that in the further part of Kali Yuga, when Gaur Kali Yuga will come, devotees will have to go to forest. The governments will be themselves stopping all these things. And it is like the history also. If you see what Vena is doing, this only Kamsa also did. Kamsa was like this only. Sab band kar do ye saab hai, no? Abhi se meri baat chaleegi. So all, who else? Hiranyakashipu also. All same type, they are all one party only. Different eras, but same kind of jati, एक ही जाति के सब. So they do same type of activities. So we have to be bold enough that we will go on. We have to go on and we have to practice Krishna seriously. And what Prabhupada is indicating also is that better get out in this life. Otherwise, एक और life मतलब कि पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है. So already Kali situations are very bad. So next generation become, God knows what level of Kali would have come. And if 10,000 years we spend in the heavenly planet, after that, Hare Krishna, then we go to Kali Yuga. So better make it or break, make or break situation. So better make it in this life only. Radhashampur mentions about that those who try to make conscious effort to be in the center, they are actually the most lonely people, most frustrated. Krishna conscious bliss can come only when we keep Krishna in the center. We can't grab it. Popularity is front and Krishna can't go here together. So what Vena was trying to do, I me mine. मैं बहुत कुछ हूँ, I am popular. ये सब बंद कर दो, कृष्णा का वर्शिप बंद करो, मेरा वर्शिप करो. I am not Naradev, I am Dev only. You know, the Naradev at least remember that there is a Dev and I am Nara. He wanted to be known as I am the boss. So he stopped all the yajna. This is the way actually the Brahmanas want rogues and thieves and should be thrown out, and the whole praja does yajna. The Brahmanas are doing yajna, but then the king himself is stopping. Now he is becoming a bigger problem. So he is in I in my consciousness. So he is keeping himself in the center. So we can also try to see in our life whether we are trying to keep Krishna in the center or I in the center. So when we have a I-centric consciousness, sometimes a person derives a lot of strength from his followers. So in the long run, it is not going to give any satisfaction. Actually, shelter does not come from followers. Those who derive satisfaction and shelter from followers, that type of satisfaction will not last for long. Rather, because of that, he becomes weak. Like imagine some follower says, now I want to go to another devotee group. I am not feeling so inspired by you, or I feel more inspired by that devotee. Right? हमने तुम्हारे को बड़ा किया, तुम ऐसा चेंज करते हो क्या? हमने क्या गड़बड़ किया? बताओ गड़बड़ क्या है? So people will not speak so grossly. Some people speak grossly also. I've seen in ISKCON also sometimes people are very gross also because their mind has gone completely off from bhakti track. But those who are very sobered up falsely one, they say, "Oh, first tell what is the problem you are facing." No problem, Prabhuji. I just feel more inspired. You must be facing some problem. So he feels very guilty. How to tell the problem with the counselor, you know? So we should know people can get attracted to some other devotees also. There's no problem. They may get attracted to some other temple also. So we will say, hey, हमारे temple में सबसे अच्छा है, उधर क्यों जा रहे हो? So we should be very broad-minded. Keep Krishna in the center. As long as that devotee is wanting to serve Krishna, like say some devotees under us, but suppose say some senior devotee of another temple is seeing him as a potential temple person. And he is actually that potent candidate and he can do much better service there. But we say, अरे अपना पुजारी चला जाएगा या हमारा voice preacher चला जाएगा. Then that will be actually small-mindedness. See, he can do more contribution to Prabhupada somewhere. But if we think from our troubles, what we will face, that means we are not seeing the larger picture. So we should be Krishna-centric. Krishna's glorification is expanding. Like, that book distribution things also. That one bus party is sponsoring the other bus party's bus. So that, score, apna score acha. So if we are keeping Krishna in the center, then Krishna should get glorified more. If they are glorifying Krishna more, we will compete with them to glorify our best. So as soon as Radhanath Maharaj told, like when his shaman had approached one time, please, Maharaj, pray that we do our best. Yes, I will pray that you do your best and you come the last. Amazing. You do your best, then you come the last means what? Come the last means everyone has done better than you. That means Krishna's glorification is maximized. So another thing Radhashampur mentions about is like HOD may think that only what I say can happen. My ways are way. So this is all I-centric. Business Bhakti Rasamari Maharaj says You must have heard this statement, no? There is no limit, we can say this. There is no limit to the success we can achieve if it does not matter who gets the credit. So credit is इसको श्रेय मिलेगा. That is a very strong longing in the conditioned soul's heart. हमने भी कुछ किया था, उनको ही तारीफ बजा दिया. So what's devotees as they grow in genuine devotional service, then they rise above it. Like Mahaprakash Leela is completely the opposite thing. Lord, you gave us mercy, but what about that devotee? What about that devotee? So like, okay. Read translation, read.
Therefore, all the great sages assembled together and after observing cruel Vena's atrocities, concluded that a great danger and catastrophe was approaching the people of the world. Thus, out of compassion, they began to talk amongst themselves, for they themselves were the performers of the sacrifices.
Read the perfect yellow.
Sages, saintly persons, and devotees are not unconcerned with the people's welfare. Ordinary karmis are busy acquiring money for self-gratification, and ordinary jnanis are socially aloof when they speculate on liberation. But actual devotees and saintly persons are always anxious to see how people can be made happy both materially and spiritually.
So, see, there is a difference between yogi, jnani, and karmi. Rajesh book is that karmi is busy in sense gratification, jnani is a socially aloof, but bhaktas are anxious to make all materially and spiritually happy. So, as devotees, we should think that we want to purify our hearts, but we cannot be disconnected from the sufferings of this world also. We should be always concerned. There has to be a sense of responsibility to relieve others from suffering. Actually, even if we are completely like what do we say, like Madhavendra Puri, of course we are not like Madhavendra Puri, but someone who is like Madhavendra Puri, they are also concerned about the world, because even if they don't draw anything from the world, but they are naturally concerned about the world. But if we are dealing in this world, the world is all, we are interdependent. So the world's concerns are our concerns. At the same time, as a Lord's instrument, also we have to be concerned about. Okay, we'll see how they act. At one point of time, we will discuss about what Srila Prabhupada says about devotees trying to take roles in political world. There are many passages where Prabhupada mentions something on it. And then I have made a collection of letters of Prabhupada which bring out what is called devotee should be. We'll see that. Okay, read this. Next one.
When the great sages consulted one another, they saw that people were in a dangerous position from both directions. When a fire blazes on both ends of a log, the ants in the middle are in a very dangerous situation. Similarly, at that time, the people in general were in a dangerous position due to an irresponsible king on one side and thieves and rogues on the other side.
So the two directions he is mentioning is very bad king and rogues and thieves. If they first did not have a king, so they were rogues and thieves troubling them. Now if they got a king, so he is only troubling them. So it is Arajaka Bhayadesha Ritu Raja Raja Tato Biyasi Dvayam Padya Katam Syat Swasnade.
Thinking to save the state from irregularity, sages began to consider that it was due to a political crisis that they made Rena king, although he was not qualified. But alas, now the people were being disturbed by the king himself. Under such circumstances, how could the people be happy?
Same point. So Arajakta thi, Arajaka Bhayad. So because of that, they were concerned. Read this, saintly people.
Currently, people preach God consciousness or Krishna consciousness because they are anxious to save the people, save the general populace from the dangers of animalistic life.
This we discussed in the first verse also, where if there is no king, then the tendency of the people is to just go towards unregulated, unruly life, and they go down to animalistic.
There must be a good government to see that citizens are actually executing their religious rituals, beliefs and votes must be curbed. When this is done, the people can advance peacefully in spiritual consciousness and make their lives successful.
So on one hand, they should help people to follow the religious rituals. And in those who are rogues and thieves, who are badmash fellows, who don't want others to practice, and rather they will trouble them, and they themselves will not practice. So they have to be curbed. These two duties are mentioned. So maybe I can show you now. See, nowadays, if you see what people call a secular state, they say basically that religion is not government duty. See, here Prabhupada is saying what? The government, good government, to see that citizens are actually executing their religious rituals. But modern idea of secularism is all religions, that is your individual business. Like instead of making a temple, a mosque, a church, everything, they'll remove all of them and they say we are simply an institution for science or something. And we don't talk about all the religion business is not within the government. Prabhupada is going to talk about that very clearly. So one can become Prabhupada, one can become ambassador. एक मिनट, बड़ा कर लूंगा। हाँ, दो माइक है क्या? एक ही माइक है। अगर एक ही माइक है तो मैं एक बन जाऊंगा। This conversation is done in Sweden, Stockholm, 1970. हाँ? अरे शेयर नहीं हुआ क्या? हाँ? अब आ जाओ। Okay, so one can become Prabhupada, and no one can become Prabhupada's son, but we can become Prabhupada's voice and can repeat. So,
In America and India and so many countries all over the world, they have a secular state. The government leaders say they don't want favor any particular religion, but actually they are favoring a religion.
see, powerful statement of Prabhupada. See, what government is saying, we don't favor any religion, but that means they are favoring a religion. That, huh? No, they are creating they are part of the problem actually. Okay, yeah, well, we have a problem. See, I'm the ambassador, Santani. Well, we have a problem. We have a multi-religious society. So we people in government have to be careful. We can't take too strong a position on religion.
No, the government must take a strong position. Of course, the government should be neutral to all forms of bona fide religion, but it also has a duty to see that the people are genuinely religious. Not that in the name of secular state, the government should let the people go to hell.
You remove all the places of worship, then people are busy doing. See, they will say, "Koi masjid mein banao, koi mandir mein banao, lekin cinema hall banao." So all the materialistic things are becoming expanded, and people are going there because that is what is available. So, well, that's true.
Yes, if you are a Muslim, then it is the duty of the government to see that you are actually acting as a Muslim. If you are a Hindu, it is the government's duty to see that you are acting as a Hindu. If you are a Christian, it is the government's duty to see that you are acting as a Christian. The government cannot give up religion. If people become religious, then they are simply animals. So it is the government's duty to see that the citizens are not becoming animals. The people may profess different forms of religion, that does not matter, but they must be religious. Secular state does not mean that the government should be callous. Let the people become cats and dogs without religion. If the government does not care, then it is not a good government.
See, callous word is indifferent to what the people do in their religious. So they cannot be indifferent to it. They have to be consciously concerned and working out. Every person should be following their dharma problem. See, when I went to Oman, I had gone to meet one devotee. So that is a Islamic state. But I could see because the government is imposing that you have to follow religion. There is a lot of, at least there is a lot of decorum in the society. You know, apart from the mosque, all the other buildings have to be either white or brown. Bus. No color. There should be no color to your building. The only thing colorful is the mosque. That means people should not get attracted to your buildings also. They should, and there is no billboard. In the entire city, there is no billboard only. In the main city of Muscat, there is no billboard. You can see only brown mountains, which are because it's a desert, and white and brown buildings, and the green mosque. And people have to cover their whole, from top to bottom, they should be covered. Mataji, so you have known about burqa. Even the men, they have called a Omani dress. You know Omani dress? Omani dress is like a gown from here till down. So even when we go, if we wear dhoti, dhoti may be little bit the leg is exposed. So dhoti is not allowed. So they want no exposure to the body. When I went there, it was like you can't feel agitated only. There's no billboard, there's no colorful building, there are no men and women wearing any jazzy dresses, there's no photos only. You can only see cars and people with burqa and all that. So you just feel like you are in some mosque only. Whole building, whole places. So that way I thought that see, if the government imposes the religious norms, then so much protection is there also for the religious culture. Otherwise, now I went to Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, they are having actually movies are going on, but no Muslim Matajis are there in the movie. They are playing Hindi movies. All our Hindu fellows have made our respectable Matajis into prostitutes sent to the Bollywood movies. They are showing all their bodies. But the Muslim ladies are supposed to live in their homes only. That is why in their culture, they will not allow their Muslim ladies to go to the movies. So they are protecting their culture and we are getting lost. So, of course, I am not saying that everything is good about that and not good about us. But I am simply sharing that government, when it comes to imposing the laws according to the religious codes, it can protect a lot of religion. Otherwise, a lot of religion is lost. Okay, so we'll read ahead now. Yeah. Ambassador. I think there is a lot in what you say. See, many of these politicians have a fellows, they'll be very, oh yeah, you have good points to say. No, they don't do anything. But politics is the art of the possible. See, this is typical politician. Okay, read.
No, politics means saying that the people become advanced, that the citizens become spiritually advanced, not that they become degraded.
Yes, I agree. But I think the primary duty of the government is to provide the conditions in which gifted people, spiritual leaders like you can function. If the government does any more than that, it might even corrupt the various religious groups. I think government should be like an umpire in a game. Provide the conditions for free speech.
No, government must do more than that. For instance, you have a commerce department. The government sees that the trade and the industrial enterprises are doing nicely and properly. The government issues license. They have supervisors and inspectors. Or for instance, you have an educational department, inspectors who see that the students are being properly educated. Similarly, the government should have expert men who can check to see that the Hindus are really acting like Hindus, the Muslims are really acting like Muslims, the Christians are acting like Christians. The government should not be callous about religion. They may be neutral. Whatever religion you profess, you have nothing to do with that. But it's the government's duty to see that you are doing nicely, that you are not bluffing.
So, like Prabhupada will tell about this Christians, no? Thou shall not kill, but you are killing. You should not be bluffing, doing other things, and then you say you are a Christian. So the government is supposed to see that. See, he's very sharp, very nicely saying, you are entering business world. You are not business world, no? You are dealing with the business world, whether they are following. You are entering into education. You are not supposed to do education. You are government only. Just do the administration. But you are entering education world, sending education inspector. Then why you are left religion? That means you are wrong. So you have to get into that also. Surely, as far as moral conduct is concerned, but more than that, how is it possible?
The thing is, unless you are actually following religious principles, you cannot possibly have good moral conduct.
Prabhupada, you cannot have goodness without God. Good without God is a fantasy idea. यस्यास्ति भक्ते भगवती यकिंचन सर्वै गुणै तत्र समासते सुरा हरा भक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुण मनोरथेनास्ति धावतो वे. So yeah,
As long as you have faith in God, devotion to God, everything is alright. After all, God is one. God is neither Hindu nor Christian nor Muslim. God is one. And that is why the Vedic literature tells us
सवै पुंसां परो धर्मो यथो भक्तिरदुच्यते ऐतुर्ये प्रत्ययथा ययात्मा सुप्रसीदति. So this is the benchmark of religion. To know God and to love God. Prabhupada used to say, religion means to know God, to love God. If your religion brings to love of God, your religion is first class. Right? So one must be.
someone must be religious. Without being religious, no one can be satisfied. Why is there so much confusion and dissatisfaction all over the world? Because people have become irreligious.
See that word satisfaction comes from that suprasidati. So if you want to give satisfaction to people, don't just talk about moral conduct. You have to make them bhaktas. And whichever religion, but bhakta. They have to accept God. And they have to accept the ruling of God. Either Shastra should see whether they're following Shastra, or if they're not following Shastra, use your Shastra and make them come to Shastra. In Moscow, so many people are hostile to religion, completely against it.
Why do you say Moscow? Everywhere, at least in Moscow, they are honest. They honestly say we don't believe in God.
That's true. That's true.
But in other places, they say I am Hindu, Muslim, I am Christian, I believe in God, and still they don't know anything about religion. They don't follow God's laws.
I am afraid most of us are like that. That's true. See, Prabhupada is laughing. This guy is himself telling most of us are like that. He is himself a religious guy, and he is sitting on the position of an ambassador. What type of thing he is talking? And there is another discussion. I think this is in Australia. Prabhupada is talking about we want to create first class men, and he tells that four regulative principles. In that guy also says, I don't follow this four. So Prabhupada is laughing again. What kind of leaders we have got in India? Yeah, read. Prabhupada says. I should say
that in Moscow, at least they are gentlemen. They cannot understand religion, so they say we don't believe. But these other rascals say, yes, we are religious, in God we trust, and yet they are committing the most irreligious acts. Many times I have asked Christians who say, your Bible says, thou shalt not kill. Why are you killing? They cannot give any satisfactory answer. It's clearly said, thou shalt not kill. And they are maintaining slaughterhouses. What is this?
So this is something you can keep with you when people talk about secular state. All the preachers should have what Prabhupada wanted. So the king is impartial about different bona fide religions, but he is supposed to ensure that everyone follows his religion properly. That is proper. Otherwise, people will go to animalistic. Okay. The sages began
to think within themselves. Because he was born from the womb of Sunita, King Vena is by nature very mischievous. Supporting this mischievous king is actually like maintaining a snake with milk. Now he has become source of all difficulties.
Yellow part.
Saintly persons are generally aloof from social activities and the materialistic way of life. Saintly people are especially interested in performing sacrifices and austerities for the advancement of spiritual life. But Vena, instead of being obliged because of the saint's mercy, turned out to be their enemy because he prohibited them from executing their ordinary duties.
So here saints are becoming concerned. See, in general, like say, how many of us are really knowing what is going on in the political? Much less. Some people may be knowing a little more, some less. But basically, they're generally aloof from social activities and materialistic way of life. In fact, sometimes we don't know also who is the leader, political leader, or who is in power, who went out of power. We may sometimes quote the previous prime minister or president in some country. Like now, who is in US president? Huh? Biden. So someone may be still with Trump or so someone may say, Trump told this. Arey Prabhuji, ho gaya uska zamana बीत गया. So sometimes we are out of date. So like that, we are generally supposed to be aloof, of course. that we are aloof from social activities and materialistic way of life. So a materialistic way of life also, like we don't have to know all the details about how people are trying to enjoy in this world. There can be some small detail that we know, and that is enough for telling the people. By trying to talk too much the details, if people sometimes go to YouTube to learn many things, details, then what happens? We only become condemned. Then their saintliness goes down. So saintly people are generally interested in what? Sacrifices and austerities. They are doing bhajan, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. They will be reading Bhagavatam and sharing Bhagavatam. But they are also concerned about the public. And now another feature is this person is stopping this only. Like you do Sankirtan, government comes and stops it. Now they are concerned about the government which is stopping the duties of theirs only. Okay, we'll recite this. Nirupita prajapala sajikam sati vai praja tadavi santapyamahum nashmam tadpatakam srishe.
We appointed this Vena, king of the state, in order to give protection to the citizens. But now he has become the enemy of the city. Despite all these discrepancies, we should at once try to pacify him. By doing so, we may not be touched by the simple results caused by him.
See, the word uses Santa Vayema. We should try to pacify. They are not immediately talking about killing him. सांत्वना देते हैं इनको थोड़ा मत give them pacify him, give good advice. If he comes to the right track, then very nice. So, and otherwise, if you don't do this, then we'll be in great sin. Read the purple. Yellow.
The law of prohibits a person not to associate with mischievous individuals. By electing Vena to the throne, the saintly singers certainly associated. Ultimately, Vena became so mischievous that the saintly singers actually became afraid of the
So wait. So see, the law of karma says that if you associate with a mischievous person, that also will bring reaction to us. And if you have appointed a mischievous person as a leader, then we are surely part of the deal. So that is why it is very important that we put leaders. Like sometimes devotees discuss about voice preaching. Because if you don't have anyone, the leader is also facing problems with 4x. So can we put him only because what to do? We have to have a leader. But the problem is you have put him as a leader, so you can have the reaction also along with it. So either have a proper leader, otherwise you yourself take the role. Because this kind of a thing is dangerous. That we will get reaction because he is ruling with his contaminated mind. So the leader's consciousness is very, very important to see. And if he's a mischievous guy, then we are also accountable. So that is why a qualified person is always sought. Now, Krishna is trying to see Brahma, who is qualified to be Brahma. In all posts, we always seen that he should be a qualified person. But now, what do they think? Okay, he is not doing right thing. So what is Brother Yellow?
Thus, before taking any action against him, the sages try to pacify and correct him so that he might turn from us.
So now they are thinking, see, it is our responsibility. We have posted him. So we are not removing him immediately, but we should correct him. If we don't correct him, if he does not come to the right track, that means we are party to his sinful activities. So it is very important to see also that the Brahmanas, although they are getting so much trouble from Vena, but they did not think of removing immediately. So they don't think 0-1, shape up or ship out. So they always try to help that person become a better person. Reform, not remove. So that is a Brahmanical thought. I have personally also seen my deficiency in this, and I've seen Radhashanku, he helps me to see a broader view. See, sometimes if devotee has done some mistake. So when the devotee has done some mistake, then you say, oh, this person has done this mistake, so then he's not, he should be removed or something. But that mistake is one part of his life. There is no other parts also. Like Indra had done mistake, but Lord still wanted him to remain on power. In so many incidences, if you see when he stole the horses of Ritu, when he did Govardhan Wala, Leela Hua. So, but Lord did not remove him. He said that you should become proper and now go. and take the road. So usually removal is not the method. What is the method? Rectify the person, give him good advice, and then he can continue doing the work. So Prabhupada also in many letters sometimes they were removing president, talk. So he told the GPC, hey, you can't remove president like, today one president, tomorrow other president, what will happen? So there's sometimes too much haste. When we see some problem, immediately better remove it. That comes from passion. The mode of goodness person can see the good side. See, what is the good side of Veena? There's one good side of Veena also. He was able to curb the thieves and roads. At least वो तो डर के रह रहे थे. So if Veena had understood what is his good side, and he had told the Brahmana, देखो भाई, अपना तो इतना ही, हम गुंडों के ऊपर, will curb all the gundas. You take care of the rest of the thing, to whatever people you can. Then the Brahmanas could have guided, okay, we will tell you all the details for the rest of the thing, but this thing you are doing nicely. You do this nicely, and rest of it you take all micro guidance from us. So then the Brahmanas could have done good job through him also. That means actually Brahmanas can completely make the king an instrument and do whatever best good has to be done for the world. But the Vena was completely, he took a detour from the Brahmanas.
The citizens is completely opposed. We are completely aware of this misjudgment, yet we also lives we know if we cannot consider king when at working our advance, he will be condemned by the good and he will judge. Thus by our prowess we shall burn the flesh.
So they were also aware कि हो सकता है कि वो ठीक ना हो. Sometimes people don't understand when you give advice also. So they are also aware, but they said first duty is not to kill him or remove him. First is to give him good advice. हो सकता है बदल जाए. And people do change also. People do change. So that's what the great souls thought, that by give him a second chance, he will change. And he will be condemned by the public. That time he will join the public also.
70% are not interested in politics matters, yet they are always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. Consequently, they sometimes have to come down to the political field and take steps to correct the misguided government or value. Now, 70% have no such power to influence on the age of age.
That power of cursing the king and finishing him. हूँ क्या तो कुछ भी नहीं होगा. सिर्फ हूँ ही निकलेगा. Yeah.
Under these circumstances, instead of actively diplomatic politics, 70% for engaging in chanting of Nam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Japa karo Haru. So political business. See, today there are a lot of devotees who are asking these kind of questions. Should we get into politics or not? You seen that? Like, there is Hindu versus, there is one way like Hindu सब खत्म हो जाएंगे अगर ये मुसलमान आ गए ये हो जाएगा हिंदू राज्य चाहिए सब so there is one way like that, like kind of RSS way, and in that there is one compounded way of we have to take political positions also. So I'll read something from Prabhupada, see, because you may say Prabhu ji आप अपना वर्जन बताओगे वो अपना वर्जन बताएंगे तो हम Prabhupada वर्जन बताओगे. See, Prabhupada, I collected all the things Prabhupada so that you can relish Prabhupada. So I have put top heading, which is the essence of the letter, because if you read all the letters, it's 20 pages of letters only. So we'll try to take the essence, and in some places we'll read the letter also. Okay. Who can read title?
Politicians and leaders. Political agitation don't become party to it as both sides are possible.
See, everything is included in Krishna, and we do not wish to take part directly in controversial politics. We can take part in politics only which is sanctioned by Krishna. Later on, he says that especially recommend restraint from 4 lands of primary sinful activities, the 4 regs. But all these fighting people, they are 100% addicted to all these habits. That means, both the parties are doing nonsense. And you say, isko Raja bana, usko hatao. So this fellow you are supporting, that means you will become party to his sinful activities. He's saying we are against, we don't want to take part in any of them. Both are bad guys. This is one kind of dialogue which Prabhupada gave a couple of letters. Okay, I am prepared to go and lecture, but not take part in some political agenda. See, what happens in sometimes they call saintly people also, na? Some political thing is there, saintly person is called. Why? Why? That we are very saintly, we have a saintly personality in us. So what Prabhupada is saying, I am prepared to go and give lecture. वहां जाके क्या बताएंगे? Everyone should take to Krishna consciousness, chant Hare Krishna, but not this political agitation. Okay, read next title.
Proof given political matters. By speaking Krishna conscious philosophy practically that appears to be social, political, philosophical.
So what Prabhupada was, see, Prabhupada says, okay, you want to go to a place where there is a political program going on. What you will do? Here he says, Krishna is so broad and all inclusive that naturally when speaking Krishna, we can get so many opportunities to deal in politics, although that is not our subject. To do so requires expert handling. You can take part in such classes and present the subject matter in such a way that it may first appear like socio-political philosophical affair, but actually introduce our Krishna philosophy. So some or the other, you will see when Prabhupada talks to businessmen, he will talk business, so you should offer your business to Krishna. He will say, Krishna has given you money, so you should do something. Like that, Prabhupada had great expertise in transforming a particular forum into a Krishna consciousness. So he didn't want to miss an opportunity to speak about Krishna. They used that opportunity tactfully to bring direct Krishna consciousness. Okay. This is something which is a very regular thing which Prabhupada looked forward to.
So government power to rule. It should support us.
Read the bold one.
We may approach our government leaders with our simple formula. We show to them by practical result that we are accomplishing the reform work that they are trying to do. So they are trying to do by spending millions of dollars, but not very successful.
See, these fellows are trying to curb criminals, but we have made criminals into pure Vaishnavas who are following all four agreements. So better you give us money and we will make everyone get prasadam. Prabhupada writes that what all you should do also, that will come. But he said the government should support our cause to increase the Sankirtan. So you should show the good results of ours in curbing crime rate, and that way you can get the support from the government. So this is another type of thing that Prabhupada wanted us to do with the government. Please continue.
Please continue to try and convince the world leaders who are in Washington DC about our Krishna consciousness program. If they are favorably impressed with our work, they may be able to give us government land and property and so many other facilities which we can utilize to pay all of the population.
So government can give grants also. Like nowadays also, I know Mr. Sundagopal too. He is very expert. So like, क्या है वो? महोत्सव, अमृत क्या था? अमृत महोत्सव, आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव है. So there were certain types of grants given by the government, in which if you put आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव is there, ना, so उसके लिए grant देते हैं उस program में. So he did lot of programs where, like he did Udgar festival, and in that he said, भारत भूमि ते मनुष्य जन्म हो ले जा, अगर तुम भारत आदि तो कुछ करना चाहिए, आजादी का महोत्सव बनाओ. महोत्सव क्या है? आजाद करो लोगों को बैड हैबिट से. So he used the आजादी का Amrit Mahotsav to propagate Krishna consciousness, and he got grants. I think he got some 40 lakhs from the government. So like that, you can get, if you know how to handle it. There he's saying that also. Okay, read.
Yes, the government officials should come forward from the practical side. That we are creating even devotees of God with character.
Same point. Next one, next title.
Making Krishna consciousness more popular amongst influential people.
So one is support. Now to make it popular among influential people. That means influential people themselves become somewhat Krishna conscious. See what it says.
We are proposal for increasing our popularity and formally familiarity among influential certain living is very good. So if you want actually to be successful, you must convince the influential men of your country. Then everything will follow.
One right king can make many people follow. If he says Bhagavad Gita, like now Modi ji speaks about Bhagavad Gita very boldly. So many people now they have become bold. Are Gita ki jai ho, no Gita badao aage. Actually, in many colleges we are getting very red carpet welcome because the government is very supportive and in fact promoting this type of thing. So the influential men of the country are pushing forward this. If they have become, if they favor the Brahminical culture, then it will be very good. So you should make them feel for what we teach. See, one thing is getting support like land, property. Another is to get that person's influence. Because he says, what these people are doing is good. Then government, college, everyone, Haripod, chalo. Like nowadays, colleges are also very much supporting because colleges are seeing that their students have gone to like it's gone to ruins. They've ruined themselves. Now they say bachalo hamare bachcho ko. Yeah. I remember in one college we were being invited. The madam who was the principal of that stream, she was saying, you give direct, no, don't give indirect. Huh? Because all that indirect they have heard on motivational talks also in the YouTube. You have to give direct only. Otherwise, don't talk less than Gita. You have to give Gita only. And we are saying, no, we'll go gradually. I told you, you'll go gradually actually. Because boys may reject, you may accept. No, I am guaranteeing boys will also accept. But I was only fearful. It should not lead to rejection. So our devotees, Kadam Garampu, he said some pant shirt devotees to do some self-motivation talks kind of thing. Self-help talks. So all that time, boys and girls were giggling because they knew all that. Then Kadam Garampu went and gave discover inner self. That time everyone was very attentive to hearing. Direct talk they were interested. Because that is something that ISKCON has a USP. All the motivational talk, the whole world is doing it. Do you have it in you? Bounce back. कोई भी कर सकता है. Now they want the real thing. They know that something is deep in the Gita. I had gone to one school. This was Udaipur. So vice president told that, see, to the 9th class, now you give extra time. You should help them. मतलब lecture तो हम 10 मिनट में announcement करके गीता हरी बहुत चलो पार हो गया. But he said you should give them time. So after I came out of the 9th class, he said, did they hear you? I said, yeah, they are very nice children. They are hearing. They hear you only. They are not interested in hearing our subjects. I said, yes, I was not telling him, but I was thinking in my heart, yes, they are interested in the real subject because they are wanting something more foundational. What is life meant for? And when they are getting that, then they want to hear. But now they have lost all taste. Like the hippie culture in the West. They have tasted everything and they have left everything. Left everything means they wanted something unconventional. So it is important for us to touch this is a very right time. See, after COVID now, because of whatever COVID did in terms of shaking the person's material life, many people, all the numbers in temples have double, triple. Plus, many college authorities have become very bold to speak that you should spread Gita. Government has become supportive. National education policy is supportive. So many factors have become favorable. There may be Kaliva situations always, but this time we don't encash to make an impact. Nowadays, there is value education, a mandate in every college. And many fellows like the Brahma Kumaris, Ramakrishna Mission and all, they already have a defined syllabus and also degree teachers also. And our program is like Chiti ka jada. If we don't move in, all Mayavadis will get in and they will take over. Okay, so we go ahead. Otherwise, I will get into. Yes.
And specific is that we are eager to attract the upper class of the society.
Okay. Now he is talking about George Harrison, how we are more interested with the men, mass of men shall support us. Okay, here he is saying that our experience is that such big men will not help us except if there is some rare soul like George Harrison. So usually we seeing that mass of people take. See, you will see many politicians, although they are supported, they will not become pakka devotees and disciples. So he said that very few people will be like that, like George Harrison. But if you want to really make the movement, we have to touch the masses with the quality of bhakti which we want to propagate. Imagine Prabhupada's pure devotion service gets diluted to simply make it a political movement. Then we will be seen as something else. So we should always be careful. And he says, even if such one high class man becomes preacher on our behalf, if he actually becomes converted to Krishna preaching, well, that is the best contribution of our preaching. So if you can transform people to that degree like George Harrison, jai. Otherwise, don't just do some mediocre work. So now, he's spending time with influential people should induce them to preach for us, not just support us. Now I'll show you some. See, this is 1973 going on, and 1971. So all this is, see, not much faith that government will help. Go on preaching. He also said that basically government बातें बहुत करता है, but help ज़्यादा नहीं करेगा. So better to focus on government. Then, see here a wave of talk started in 72, where devotees like Balwant Prabhu, there were a couple of more devotees who wanted to become politicians. Prabhupada said, you can become a politician for more Sankirtan Yajna alone, not for other things. Read.
So one thing for more Sankirtan Yajna to expose modern corrupt government and become president.
Say that you should expose all the corrupt fellows, and when you expose all of them, you will be the only fellow who is the right guy. Then you will be voted to power, and so become the president. Read.
Still campaigns should be based on positive approach of context. As politicians, speeches should be effective. Criticize openly modern corrupt government. Strongly preach public to give a positive value of Krishna.
So you should tell what is the importance of Vishnu means. So of course you can read the letters that were. I will show you the titles in light of limited time. Read.
So Prabhupada encourages Amariyata Praveen politics. Always remember Krishna along with politics. Brahmanas guide the leaders, not become leaders themselves.
So this devotee, Amarendra Prabhu, Damodar Prabhu, Balwant Prabhu, these three people are actually regularly writing letters to Prabhupada to become politicians. And Prabhupada was giving encouragement also. Till 1974, one period. You'll see after some time the mood changing. But here he is saying that Amarendra Prabhu, you can go into politics and at the same time remember Krishna always. Don't forget Krishna while doing politics. And this is a very difficult thing. We may be not very Bhishma Pitama and all. So anyway, so it is a fact that Krishna desires his own men in the top posts. So gradually we shall also try to influence the leaders of the country to base politician activities on God consciousness. Okay. All so many letters came. He was very, very eager that people become post holders. He is a letter to USA president also. Prabhupada wrote a president. I knew till now about Rajendra Prasad, he had written a letter. But he wrote one letter to president of US also. So here he is writing that letter. Then, read it.
And out of which the higher classes of men. Teach tactfully with patience and tolerance like them. Now, what
And so he gives example of Lord Chaitanya's preaching, where he was sitting for a long time to transform Sarma Bhattacharya into devotee. So if you want to touch influential people, you may have to be patient. And Krishna also patiently spoke to Arjuna. So, cultivate government big men to deal with difficult police force. So this is also creating PR. So this is important. First deal peacefully, overcome opponents by words and behavior. If that fails, then fight. So this is there. Now the mood changes. This is 1974 June. Stop the political movement. See, read one of them. You read.
I've stopped the political movement because it will not help. It's a very good opportunity. Better you not engage in those states, expenditure of money.
So three things Prabhupada in these letters will tell what are the problems with the political, initiative. One is it is very filthy. Lot of dirty talks, dirty ways of dealing also. Second is lot of money going away. Money, now how much money politicians are spending in crores for campaigns and all. How can ISKCON temple afford that? And then another thing he said, oh, your energy is also going. Instead of doing your Sankirtan, you are just doing political work. So your energy, the money of the temple, and atmosphere is very filthy. So these three things he said, better you come back. So now all these letters, you should give up political office. Now men should return to working in the ISKCON center. Bas, band karo, aa jao. It was creating too much separate effort, separate brain, separate money from our regular ISKCON. See? So this is what Prabhupada had in 1974, ending part. This is another letter which comes in. This is December 1974. He writes, ultimately we want Krishna government, but it will happen when people are Krishna. That means if many people you transform to Krishna consciousness, then they will among themselves make some guy, not that you hold the government post in such a way. So first make the masses Krishna, focus on that. And here he says, if you are entering politics, he didn't say no, but he said, be cautious to not get implicated. Pick up the fish without getting wet. So here Prabhupada is knowing that they had become contaminated. So now this Saptasuru Maharaj is writing something. So the clippings of Nalini Kanta, who is running for the mayor of Phoenix, are a good advertisement and we are getting good publicity. But be careful that we may not be implicated too much. One should pick up the fish without touching the water. So now this is there. So this is the end of the summary study of the political world by Prabhupada. Okay, na? We saw the Prabhupada viewpoint. So should we give a break now? 12:10. I think this is. Okay, now will come the section where the sages will actually speak to Veena. So we'll take that after the break. It is 12:08. Prabhu, please come in time because we are already running out of time. So 12:25, please be there. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. मतलब आ गए स्टार्ट कर देते वरना हमारा रह ही जाएगा दो नहीं करते एवं मध्यावसायैनं मुनयो ब्रह्मज्ञवा उपव्रज्य ब्रुवन्मेनं सांख्यायित्वा
Next it is having this decided approach to King Venu. Eventually they real anger. They pacified him with a sweet words and then spoke as follows.
So they were Samavi, with sweet words they were trying to pacify him. And they concealed their anger. So this is this is the art of pacifying a fool. So he was telling that if you approach a person who is anti-Krishna and you want to get benefit in such a way that he will become pro-Krishna, it requires some intelligence. Not like you will say, hey, you are a fool. You say you are a fool, he will say, you are a fool, you get lost. So here Veda is in power. And if you want to give a good advice to him, we have to apply some diplomacy. So he was giving example of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj. One time Maharaj went to one very rich man, very influential and rich man. So his name was Jolly. So Maharaj said, oh, your name is Jolly. So you are very jolly. Yes, Maharaj, I am very happy. So Maharaj said, Krishna has made you happy. Yes, Maharaj, Krishna has made you happy. So you should do something for Krishna. So, like that, no? Maharaj would first make that person happy. That Maharaj is acknowledging that I am a happy person. Then Krishna will make you happy. Now you should do something for Krishna also. So imagine you say, what you are suffering in this world, you are not happy. So, if you say like that, he says, Arey, I am jolly, why are you calling me unhappy? I am very happy. No? So you can't speak in that language to the person. So you have to get that person to Krishna. So you have to see what way to attract. So we need art of pacifying food. And that verse is there na, by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. Dante nidaya trinakam padeyor nipatti kaku shatam kritva chaham pravini. Taking a straw between my teeth and falling at your feet 100 times, I humbly submit. Oh great personality, please give up all mundane knowledge that you have learned and just submit yourself to the lotus feet of Chaturama. So this is a basically it's not like one will say that give up all your mundane knowledge, but how it has to be spoken is that like I told you about Maharaj. The Maharaj is trying to bring the person, oh, I am going good, great, hard, Then Maharaj will give something which will make that person turn to Krishna. Some way we have to make the person turn to Krishna. So like that here, Veena is also is going to get some advice. You will see how the sages are going to speak in a very kind way. I was thinking it requires a lot of sattva to speak the way Munis spoke. Mune uchu Ripavarya Nibudaitat Yatte Vigyapayamho Ayushi Bala Kirtinam Tavatata Vivardhanam.
The text itself, we have to give in to the price. Kindly hear us, very much. I believe so, the duration of life, the Ramadan, strength, so if this is.
So they are telling what all you will get if you do this. You will get good duration of life, opulence, strength, and reputation. He सब मिलेगा क्या? So he is interested in this, and they are not saying that if you offend the Vaishnavas, you offend the Brahmanas, then all these four will decrease. They are telling in a positive way. Oh, if you hear us, it will increase. So first accept the authority of saintly person before executing monarch law. Read the yellow part.
They would first accept the authority of saintly persons.
They were the kings.
And then execute their monarch. Unfortunately, in the present day, the head of government does not follow the instructions given by the saintly persons. Therefore, neither the citizens nor the men of government are very good. If citizens want to be happy and prosperous in this democratic age, they should not be rascals and fools who have no respect for the saintly persons.
So monarchical power should have respect for the saintly order. They should look forward to get wisdom. Actually, even now there are people, like in the current situation in India also, the government which is there, it has a lot of respect for the saintly order. Like that, there are even in other places. I heard in one, forgot the name of that place. In US, they have one place. They have a Ram Rajya, Ram. State level, at a state level, or some city level, they follow all the. They try to meditate on how Lord Ram would rule and like that. I'll tell you the maybe tomorrow I'll research and tell you. But people who have respect for the principles and the personalities who are going to enunciate such saintly principles, that kind of a government is very good to have. So in the Vedic times also, you see many kings, if they had something, they will generally they have the ruling. Not that all the time Brahmanas are only micromanaging, but the sages should be directing them, or if they are going in some direction which is not according to the sage's idea, then they will correct the path. Like one time Chandragupta, he was saying, what you are saying is not, I don't like it so much. No? To Chanakya, Chanakya said, okay, then I am resigning. I said, okay, you be there. And opinion. So the kings also had respect for the saints. And they knew the saints are actually making me do something good. Otherwise, I don't know where I can become blinded by modes of passion and ignorance. Because there is rajas also. In Raj Rishi, there is rajas also. So they are concerned about them not becoming blinded. So can you give some example of some devotee kings or some saintly kings basically who change their course when some Brahmana or some sage advice them the other? Dhruv Maharaj. See, Dhruv Maharaj was giving the advice by two people, Swayambhamanu and Kuvera. Immediately he said, thank you, Hare Krishna. He changed the path. He did stop killing it. Yes. Priyavrat also. See, Priyavrat, of course, he was not the king. He took the kingship. But yeah, he was a leader in his own capacity. But he heard his superiors. Not that my intelligence rules the best. Any other? Prithu Maharaj also. See, Prithu Maharaj was going to kill Indra, bring him into the Yajna Kund by the Brahmanas' advice. But then who descended? Brahmaji descended. Haribol. Don't kill Indra. Don't be envious of the will of the Lord. The Lord wants him to remain Indra. Okay, yes, boss. Stop this, So he was very happy to do that because he knew that now superiors come. He knows the will of the Lord better. Who else? Any other? Janmani, killing the mass snakes, all the snake race to get finished. He had developed a strong violence. Like Dhruva also was wanting to kill all the exes. Sometimes the Rajoguna brings unregulated anger also, and then it goes to Tamaguna. So if the king wants to remain little careful in that, then some Sattvic people guide him. Very good. But of forgiveness we about that. Yeah. We can also see in our life, sometimes we become too rash. If some superior are there, a little more peaceful. And like in Yudhishthira Maharaj's rule, he himself was like a Brahmana only almost. The Bhima and Draupadi were like, कुछ करते क्यों नहीं ये लोग दुर्योधन और कंपनी मजा कर रहे You are resting in the forest, hearing Vedic hymns from the Brahmana. What is this? Go and fight! Everything happens by destiny, They were like, so, but they knew he is Dharmaraj, Whatever he says is actually right only. Only, they had more Kshatriya Rasa, Kshatriyani and Kshatriyani. So if they have a more person in Sattva, that person can give some good advice also. How much to do, how much not to do. Yeah. So like that, there can be more examples. Shivaji Maharaj wanted to renounce. And Tukaram Maharaj said, Haripur, you should not renounce. We need such kings also. Otherwise, go too liable to the world. So we should always know that if we get a post of power, then there are some people above us. Or there are many people above us. Like HOD should think above me is COM. In COM, there is TMC. TMC के ऊपर president, then president के ऊपर GVC, GVC के ऊपर Prabhupada's instructions. Actually, if you go to ILS, it's called Leadership Sangha and all. I've seen they will quote left and right Prabhupada. Prabhupada said this here, this here. That's why we are trying to do this. So it's a very good habit to learn what the Acharya wanted us to do in this quoting like that. So no one is independent and autonomous. Everyone is trying to follow. And this way we can be happy. Actually, we can make others happy also. So Rajam was giving the hierarchy in the family side. Child follows mother, mother follows father, father should follow guru, and guru follows Shastra, and Shastra is basically word of God. Okay, read the next translation.
Those who live according to religious principles and follow them by words, mind, body, and actions, even the heavenly kingdom, which is divided of all mysteries. Being thus rid of the material influence, they achieve only independent wisdom.
So happiness now and in future by following dharma. यह शास्त्र विधि मुत्सिज्ये वर्तते काम भारत न सिद्धिम अवाप्नोति न सुखम न परांगतिम. So if one does not follow shastra, it gives up shastra, but it does काम karata, then what will happen? Na sukham, na siddhim, no perfection, no sukham, and no paramgati. So they are saying that if they follow, they will be happy here and go to heaven.
One should not simply make a show of this. To perform those procedures perfectly, words, mind, body, and good.
Yeah. So show of religious life. That means as a leader, it is not that we show by example only. To show others, like sometimes I see when new boys come, then we dance very out. We jump up and down to show them how dancing should be done. Other times, very good, somehow we are dancing. So it should not be only show by example. Sometimes I have seen in my college days, we used to do this even RC. Every day one round chanting. So we used to go to the first year room and we would tell all the boys, एक माला करेंगे, हर माला का मणि पे ध्यान से बोलने का हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So बच्चे बहुत ध्यान से सुनते हैं, है ना? And you then you sit as the leader of the assembly. So that is the best japa mala of the 16 rounds or 17th round. How many of you experienced that one is the best round you did? You also think ऐसा माला मैं पूरा 16 माला करूँगा कितना अच्छा होगा ना? Yeah. So it is like a religious show actually. We're telling how we should chant, but our regular chanting is ritual. So here Prabhupada is saying one should not simply make a show of religious life, but should perform devotional service perfectly with words, mind, body, good intelligence. Another type of show that political people like to do is really a big drama. This is still, we may be struggling in chanting and our personal chanting, and we may do a very high class chanting with the voice. But one drama that people do, like now in the Vedic times, the king would come for grooming the street when Jagannath's cart is coming. That is real culture of feeling subordinate to Jagannath. But there are many people who want to street now. Politicians come, अरे photo खींचो, photo खींचो, photo खींचो, हम पकड़े आपको, photo नहीं खींच रहे. They are not interested in grooming the street, and they are not at all interested in pleasing Jagannath. So they are just interested in getting the photo with the groom. And sometimes they feel very hurt also. Like one time, I remember in one Rath Yatra, one politician was called, and he was not knowing that this is a Pratap. So when he was given the jhadu, अरे अब झाड़ू पकड़ा देते, पता नहीं हम कौन है क्या? अरे सर आपको हम फोटो खींचेंगे, आप चिंता मत करो. He did not know that. He was even more ignorant than this photo वाला fellows. झाड़ू पकड़ाते, पता नहीं कौन है. So people are, they want a photo in the newspaper, so they will do a lot of religious, show around. So that's why now, like say, political elections are there. So a lot of people will try to speak pro-Muslim or pro-Hindu and vote baji. Somehow we should get the votes. All this show about it. See, this is also important to what he is saying. Here he is saying that if you follow religious principles, and then you will be free from miseries. So even if there is material opulence, but there will not be happiness if one has not followed Dharma. See, there is a lot of opulence today. Like if you see in America, people have a lot of money, lot of comforts also, but they are not happy. Many are committing suicide. That big skyscraper building is there and people are jumping from the top. There are suicide points also. Prithu Prabhu was telling that there is a suicide point. And suicide point means regularly people commit suicide by jumping from there. And there, people come and they think of jumping. So one fellow was there on the top. So other fellows are watching and think, actually he was thinking, koodo nahi koodo, pata nahi, acha nahi, shayad nahi koodta nahi. They say, Kuja, they say jump. They were waiting when the drama will get over, This fellow is thinking too much, jump. See how much sadistic pleasure one can get, no? That some other fellow is dying, that fellow will be in blood and finished, and they are saying, Kab ye drama hoga. Can you imagine how much suffering is going on? That people's heart has become so hard that someone is trying to jump instead of trying to save him. अरे भैया कुछ कपड़ा लाओ, कूदेगा तो बचा लेंगे. वो बोले कूद जा, गिरेगा तो मजा आएगा, ना ऊपर लटका हुआ हमारे को टाइम वेस्ट हो रहा है. See how gross life has become. So can such hearts be happy? Such hearts can never be happy. So when the heart has not done yajna, when the person has not done yajna, and he gets items, opulences, that opulence is not going to bring happiness. When dharma leads to artha, that artha only will bring common, which is material happens. Otherwise, the adharma bringing artha will not lead to real happiness. It will only create some opulences, but it opulence will not bring happiness. So, Rajambhu was telling a beautiful example in Harinam Sankirtan. He said, see, there is a lot of opulence of water in the ocean, but you cannot enjoy that. But when it is offered to Surya Narayan, then sweet water comes down as rains. That you can utilize and be happy. So, unless something is offered to God, all the opulence is like Harappan. Nice example, no? See how much water, no? But that water is useless. You can't enjoy it. So that's how we should see. All material objects without offer to Krishna is Harapani. Yajna. You know that in the Bhagavad Gita also it says, Sarvepi ete yajnyo vido yajna shabita kalmasha yajya shishtamrita bhujo yanti brahma sanatanam. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions and have tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifice. They advance towards the supreme eternal happiness, Brahma Sanatana. And Nayam Lokasti Ayagnyasya, Koto Anya Guru Sattama. Oh, best of the Guru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in the next life. What then of the next? In this planet or in this life or in the next? They are called stena, na? Stena evasa. So thief cannot be happy. Let's read next.
The sentence continues, oh great hero, for this reason we should not be the cause of spoiling the spiritual life in the jungle. If their spiritual life is spoiled because of your activities, you will suddenly fall down from your opponent.
See, they are calling him hero. They are not calling him villain. Hey, villain. They are calling him hero. Why become a Nayak? Don't become Kalnayak. See, you give him good advice, you give him a good adjective, then he will also think maybe I should act like a hero, not like a villain. So, see, great sages have a positive attitude, it travels on people's hearts. So, like that, people say, oh, great hero. Okay. So, here, read the.
Formally, monarchy declined from the ideal life of religion to the godless life of
So first there was monarchy, then there was sense gratifier monarchs, which are basically autocrats, because they don't have a Brahmanical people above who will govern their life. Then what happened?
Simply abolition, not being and replacing it with democracy is not sufficient unless the government and religious follow the principles of great religious country.
So now they said, oh, all monarchs are bad. This single power corrupts everyone. So better to put democracy. But now democracy is basically for the people, by the people, of the people. तो बोलते तो ऐसा है, लेकिन basically it's not for the people, it is for some categories. Because everyone is Shudra, they don't know what's good for them. So they rule some Shudra only on to power. And then, in a society of 1,000, one will be a Brahmana, 9 will be Kshatriyas, 90 will be Vaishyas, and 900 will be Shudras. So majority wins means Shudra. That means he has no higher goal of life except sense gratification. So abolishing monarchy and establishing democracy does not make it right. We have to have those democratic fellows also governed by religious personalities. So sometimes in our ISKCON movement also, see, there may be one devotee as a leader, as a temple president, and someone will say, no, let us make a board now. Board does not mean that problem is solved. If it's a board of foolish people, it will not make anything good. It will make worse also. So when the board is there, they all should also look forward to hear the saintly class of people who actually are able to live by the word of God. Then it will be. Okay. Read.
Saintly persons have to. When the king protects the citizens from the exploitation of his ministers, as well as from thieves and rogues, he can, by virtue of such pious activity, accept taxes given by his subjects. Thus, a pious king can certainly enjoy himself in this world as well as in the life of the
So pious king, what he should do, two disturbances he has to start. One is disturbance by mischievous ministers, and another is rogues and thieves. Both have to stop. Who do you think can do more damage? Ministers can do more damage. Because ministers are in power also. Like if a police is corrupt, like when what was that case? Prabhupada's typewriter was stolen. So the Chowkidar came and he said, one thief came. Prabhupada understood this fellow only as well. So the police only is a thief. You know, sometimes it happens. Police is a Milli Bhagat with the thief fellows also. The police, then who will stop? So then so ministers, police, they all have to be pakka. So Prabhupada also writes about this. See, king's duty.
It is the king's duty to see that there is no increase of people and growth, either in the government secretariat or in the departments of public affairs.
And ये भी read पढ़ो.
If a king cannot give protection to citizens from thieves and rogues, both in the government service and public affairs, he has no right to exact taxes from them. In
So taxes have to be exacted only by a king who is doing this dharma. So in ISKCON also, if a devotee is, of course, we don't get taxes like that. But what do we get from our subordinates? Respect we get. You know? So if someone is getting respect, he has to ensure that the devotees are, the people below are protected from sinful situations, sinful people, or mischievous people. They should get protection. If we cannot do that, then it is not proper. Not only he should protect them, but he should also guide them to follow dharma themselves. Then he is proper.
the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 12.40, there is a description of these thieves and rogues in government service. As stated, Prajasti Bhaksha Ishkanti Lecha Rajanya Rupini. These proud villagers, persons who are less than Shudras, representing themselves as kings, will tyrannize their subjects, and their subjects, on the other hand, will continue the most vicious practices. Thus, practicing evil habits and behaving foolishly, the subjects will be like their rulers.
Yata Raja, Tata Praja. So see, after the proper monarchy got over, then many kings became Aishwarya Prasakta. They were more interested in getting women, getting money, getting big palaces, and just enjoying life. So these kind of ministers, these type of kings, then all the praja also like that. That is why the whole culture has degraded now.
Since the population is common to these democratic ways, they can only get a person in their category, but the government cannot run very well when it is run by leaders. The second class of men known as secretarians are especially meant for governing a country under the direction of safety persons, Brahmins, who are supposed to be very intelligent. In other ages, in Satyuga, Treta, and Dwapar Yuga, the general populace was not so degraded, and the head of the government was never elected.
Two things were there. First of all, there was the general populace was not degraded. Second, the king was not elected by general populace. It was elected by Brahmanas. So actually the Brahmanas would take care that the king is good, and king would take care that the public is good. Tomorrow if the public also votes, they will vote for a good king only. But now, because the Brahmanical class has got lost, so the head of the society is gone. The king is bad, Praja is also bad. And Praja rules the Praja votes power a king, he will be a bad guy. Yeah. Like this. Rajabook is the example of one father was called for a parent-teacher meeting. That आपका बेटा बहुत पेंसिल चुराता है स्कूल में. तो पापा बोलते हैं क्या बेटा मैं इतनी सारे पेन लाता हूँ ऑफिस से देखो कम पड़ता है क्या ये देखो यहाँ से ही चुराना पड़ रहा है. So what is the problem? Father himself is a thief. So what can we say? Like parents say बेटा स्मार्टफोन पे इतना काम मत करो ये मत करो खुद ही बैठे रहते हैं स्मार्टफोन में. So how can they say to the children that they should not use smartphone? They are always interested in smartphone. The child also thinks better. I should also. If something mother is thinking in smartphone is very, very nice, then better I also use smartphone only. So nowadays mother says, अरे मेरा बेटा पूरे टाइम कार्टून देखता रहता है. आप क्या देखते रहते हैं? आप भी अपना फोन पे कुछ देखते रहते हैं ना. If you make laddus for him with your hand, not just tell your नौकरानी that तुम ना लड्डू बना देना, then he will sit with you. But you are busy with your office life and you come back to do something on the phone, WhatsApp karte rehte ho. Then you tell your child to not watch cartoon. Why you not watch cartoon? So that way people, the leader makes the followers. So we should also see in our life that if you want to change something in our devotees, we are training, we should first see our own actions. How are we situated in our life? Like sometimes what happens, very funny phenomena is that we say, Hari bol, you all should follow properly the leader. And our case, oh, this guy is not proper, that guy is not proper. So then that means what? We want following without follower. We want followers, but not, we don't want to follow. Yes, king.
The king is supposed to be pious. In whose state and cities the general populace strictly observe the system of 8 orders of Varna and Ashram, and where all citizens engage in worshiping the Supreme Personality embodied by their particular occupations.
Yeah. So the people are educated in the in social order. That means Varnashram should be executed. Actually, Varnashram, the Daiva Varnashram, or even the Vedic Varnashram, it had Krishna in the center. The Daiva Varnashram is a divine Varnashram, where everyone thinks himself as a servant of servant more. But even in the Vedic Varnashram, the goal was to please Vishnu. What is that? Samsiddhi Haritoshna. So it is the duty of the king. You know that Jeev Goswami ji had made 6 committees in Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha. So in that, one of the committees was to ensure that what is the proper duty of every devotee, whether he is Brahmana, Kshatriya, accordingly give him the service. So when the people are engaged according to their Varna and Ashram, their mind will be peaceful and they will be fully engaged because it is their type of work. You give some Kshatriya type of role to a Shudra, he will be thinking, kya karne ka, chalo, chalo, utka pee lete. Because he has no understanding of higher things to do. So he will take the money and get intoxicated with that one. So because he does not know higher things. So if you give a Shudra labor work, so kaam karo, then he will be engaged properly. And he will be happy then. Khali dimag, Shaitan ka ghar hai. Empty mind is devil's workshop. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. All 4 Varnas, when properly done, then there will be great society. So that's what Prabhupada wanted also. In the end, Ante Leela part of his Leela is sharing that we have to establish Varnashram also. Yesterday I had a meeting with the young Vanaprastha Sangha, devotees, that the leaders. So what all we have to do for the devotees who are going to become, they are like 45 to 55. So they will become Vanaprasthas in the years to come. So Rajesh Rampu is thinking how to make them like Sabhas we have, na? Gaurang Sabha, Nityan Sabha. So Rajesh Rampu is thinking for even those who are prospective Vanaprasthas, how to quickly give them opportunity to live full-time life as a Vanaprastha. So this is very good. That means every person should think of getting trained to do his dharma before he enters that place. Like say, someone is going to get into married life, you don't know how to handle the situations of marriage. So the training and education should be done by the Brahmanas, and the king should ensure that all the people are getting that. Yes, Prabhu.
We are telling that we should there should be a person signing who is able to something. But the reality is that nobody wants to have gross or bottom level. People want some management or at least some hierarchy and power and things like that. So that tendency is seen with everyone. Whether we Kshatriya or Vishwa Shudra. So how to address that?
Actually, Varnashram is, see, there is an atmosphere created where everyone is respected also for his contribution. That is proper Varnashram. Not like Shudra is feeling that he is a bad guy. In the Vedic culture, everyone was respected for his order also. Woman was also respected. Woman was kept in, like, she was not brought into the public. She was a mother of the family. But as a mother, she was respected so deeply. Now, when we don't respect mothers for being mothers, then they want to become office goers. So, in the Vedic culture, everyone has its own role and it is respected. Although there is a hierarchy in terms of which role is more important for execution of the overall society. Like a head is more important than the leg. But that does not mean we disrespect the leg. Getting me? So when you say that everyone wants post and position, actually that is born out of a popularity concern. They are more than that will not bring satisfaction. See, when we do duties according to our dharma, that brings satisfaction. When we want to be known to other people, that is our sense of duty. That is not duty, that is passionate. So, when we say Brahmanical culture, it's not only that we should make Brahmanas. Brahmanical culture means the overall society is in mode of goodness. That everyone lives for his duties and he is happy that I am doing my duty. They want to do their duties. And in doing their duties, they were respected by others. Para dharma bhaya. If you do others' duty, it is dangerous. So it is important for the leaders to create a sense of respect for all the classes of people. That is very important part of the duty of the leaders. If they only pat on the back of people who are doing something which is in the limelight, then everyone thinks I also want to be in the limelight. So there should be education, there should be culture, there should be personal inspiration. That means the leader is not like if you see how Lord Ram is dealing with Kevat, he is not disrespectful towards the Kevat. So there is a proper way of dealing also. And the Kevat also knows that I am not like supposed to be in the same seat as Lord Ram. It is not that he expects that. But by being respected in his own order, he gets great satisfaction. Respect is a very important principle. Everyone should live by, deal with each other once. Similarly, in the ashrams also, a brahmachari or a sannyasi, a sannyasi is the father of the society. But when we create an artificial sense of being that brahmacharis and sannyasis are more respectable and grihastha life is like a fall down case, then people are, and they will artificially want to become brahmacharis. But if there is genuine respect for everyone, and then there is surely appreciation for what a brahmachari can do, what a grihastha is doing, what a sannyasi can do. So there will be people like Prabhupada says that if you can give up sex desire, it is 75% of it. That means you do, if you can do it, great. But it is not that that is glorified in such a way that people who are supposed to be in the other order by their natural inclinations, they take to this for popularity. So there has to be this popularity issue. Basically, it is a sattvic social structure. The sattva has to descend into the assembly. That's it. Does that answer, Prabhu? Anyone else want to ask? Okay. सुनाई नहीं दे रहा कुछ.
In this one, we try to implement at institution level, Varnashram level. But if you see overall picture of Varnashram level, it happens at very larger grounds, like at national level or at kingdom level. So, how can we implement Varnashram? Because whether we need some devotees, like we're discussing earlier, some devotees then have to be in politics or cultivate those who are following politics. So how can devotees avoid being in politics and being Varnashram?
Yeah. So when we go to the larger world, see, there can be different levels of people. Like there are devotees who are IAS officers. Some people may even enter politics. His name? Satya Gopinath. So he is trying to enter politics. But one thing which ISKCON has made as a rule is that anyone who is trying to enter politics, he should give up a post holding in ISKCON society, because ISKCON is seen as religion, religious society and political society should not mix in. But at the same time, someone wants, he can go. And Prabhupada has given guideline also, that he has to keep this devotion service. Imagine we We want some boys come also. My father was a, minister. So I also want to become minister. Okay, sir, you become minister, but you should remain devotee also. So the challenge in these fields is what? That either you remain the minister or you remain the devotee. So that is the problem. So to make very solid devotee substance and then go towards the political world, that's a challenge. But it can come up eventually in the generations as we, like children who are born in the congregation, they are born and brought up and they stabilize in their own bhakti life. Sometimes some parts of the mission of an acharya may manifest across generations. Everything cannot manifest in, like on the spur of the moment. Yes, this is the ideal society, so it should come up. And we have to know, like say farm community, that is also one part of the Varnashram. But there are many difficulties also we are facing. So sometimes farm community, we send a computer engineer to do farm community. So after some time, he says, then he comes back. So his family is in shambles. His son does not have money to support his family. So he is feeling, I gave my life in the mission and now I am facing this. So it is important that we create organic ways to grow towards such cultural changes at a larger scale. Because if we make inorganic changes, it may backfire on individuals and also in future encouragement for other individuals to take. So we have to organically take the steps forward. Mostly cultural changes will take generations. But that does not mean we don't make any step forwards also. So, like His Holiness Bhakti Rasami Maharaj is saying that we should preach to some IAS officers and UPSC and all. So it's good, Amri. We can do that. Now I have one devotee, Trichy or Vikram Prabhu. Vikram Prabhu got one friend who is now appearing for IAS. So he is studying in Delhi. So he regularly is hearing Radheshampu's lectures also, or along with preparing. And Vikram Prabhu is his friend from his office days. So he is cultivating it. This time when I went to Delhi, I also spent time with him. Gaurang Prabhu has made IAS training wing in GEV. So there are attempts to make some gradual help in which the people who are having such roles can also have a Krishna conscious inclination or some level of Krishna consciousness. Maybe they are able to follow 4 regs and chant 1 or 2 rounds and have a favorable feeling for what Prabhupada has to say. Then they can support a lot of stuff. Like the modern government also, what is currently there, there are a lot of feelings of support for what we are doing. They know, actually, we know some essence of Sanatan Dharma. Everyone says, हम सनातनी हैं, हम सनातनी, but सनातन धर्म क्या है वो नहीं पता है, no? But इसका know what is सनातन धर्म, सनातन क्या है इसका, so like that. Is that okay, Prabhu? Okay, let us go ahead, otherwise we'll be here only. Yes, Prabhu. कितना पढ़ लिया हमने? 19 points. चलो, yes. At least we should go till 35 or so. Yeah. Read. Where is the mic?
If the king says that the supreme personality body, the overall cause of the cosmic manifestation, and the super soul within everyone is worship, the Lord will be satisfied.
So the goal of the king should be to satisfy the Lord. I was telling you about the Vedic kings now, who would keep Padmanath Das as the suffix and all. So that was their goal, that I want to satisfy the Lord. And that goal they transfer to all the citizens also. In Jagannath Puri, I heard that the king's palace would always be smaller than the temple of Lord Jagannath. So you can see also from King Prataparudra and his father, Purushottam Dev was father. So all of them are very saintly kings. So saintly kings would make all the citizens also satisfy the Supreme Lord. So then everyone will be satisfied. See, Lord has a particular mission. What? All the jivas are his part and parcel. They are suffering in this world. Mamai vamcho jiva doke, jiva bhuta sanatana, manashashtani indriyani, prakriti sani karshati. His goal is, let all of them come back to my abode and have a good time with me. For that, he deputes some other person to take care of this program that he has. So he may give a king a role. The king is supposed to take care that this thing gets enabled for the Lord's part and parcel. He cannot consider them his subordinates. They are the Lord's subordinates, and I have been a custodian. So he has to take In our ISKCON movement also, whatever persons we are put, like we as custodians for, we should always think that we should make them do the will of the Lord, and we should help them get aligned with our superiors. Then we are doing good. Otherwise, if we, like Vena is making himself only the Deva, that kind of person will spoil the show of the Lord. Then he will be removed by the Lord or the Brahmanas. This is only mentioned in the proper. We read this, neither the king at the present moment.
Neither the king nor the governing body is interested in seeing that the people are engaged in devotional service of the supreme authority and godhead. Rather, they are more interested in advancing the machinery of sense gratification.
They're not interested in the goal of the Supreme Lord. Instead, they're advancing machinery of sense gratification. What language Prabhupada uses? See, they are opening malls. See, malls, what is the strategy of the malls? Why malls are like malls? In the Vedic times, there were no malls. What was the case? There is shop. See, shop is there. In the shop में सब कुछ अंदर पड़ा होता है जो आपको चाहिए. लाइक हमारा वैष्णव संवर्धन भी वैसा है ना, वो छोटा सा विंडो दिखता है ना, हाँ अंदर नहीं आने का. If you come inside, then अरे ये भी अच्छा लग रहा है, वो भी अच्छा लग रहा है ना. ध्यायो तो विषयान पुंस. So instead of showing all the items, only show a small window. What you want, sir? Okay, take that. But now mall technology is what? Show everything. वो देख के 10 और आइटम लेके आएगा. And now, how to collect all the items? So you think twice before taking all the items. So you give him a basket also. Hari bol. Basket लेके जाओ, कोई चिंता नहीं, जितना डालना है डालते रहो, बाद में देखेंगे. और फिर बड़ा बिल आ जाएगा, नहीं क्रेडिट कार्ड भी आ गया है ना, बाद में पे कर देना, कोई बात नहीं. मतलब पूरा उड़ा दो उसको. That means the jiva is in the air, thinking that बड़ा मजा आएगा, and he is getting into loans. So this is a sense gratification program. Like that, they are opening, dancing halls. Prabhupada said that old fellows are going to cabaret dancing. So modern world is very dangerous today. You know, outside colleges, the most hit shops are only beer bars. And there are beer shops where it is said that if you get your girlfriend with you, you will get free beer on Wednesday. So what happens is they will get their girlfriend and they will make the girl also drink beer. And then what will happen? They will get double customer. See, initially the girls are shy, but once they start drinking, then they become shameless. So this is strategy or marketing. All types of illicit, sinful activities being propagated very boldly. Actually. And now there are already like living relationships going on, and that is sanctioned by the government. Living relationship chalta hai, everything chalta hai. And boys and girls in Pune colleges, they are having such relationships. A very dangerous culture. To talk about it is also better to go towards Bhagavatam back. Very dangerous culture is coming in. One of the colleges in India, the parents have to sign that if your daughter becomes pregnant, don't blame us. Don't blame the college authorities. And suicides are happening because people have come to more and more materialistic life. More and more materialistic life means then they will be very sad. So, and this college which I'm talking about, where this signing is done. So there the top man is a very big man in politics also. Many boys commit suicide every month. And then the newspaper wants to report also, but the top fellow is a big man. So वो सब दबा देता है. निकालने का नहीं है, वरना तुम्हारा न्यूज़पेपर बंद हो जाएगा. So like that, everything is going on. And boys and girls are told, eat, drink and be merry. जो मन में करो, मौज करो, दुनिया बनाए इसी के लिए. So completely atheistic fellows, no? They want to increase the sense gratification process. But sense gratification does not lead to happiness. Sense gratification leads to misery. यही संस्पर्शजा होगा दुःख योनया एवते. So but these fellows have a wrong idea. सुख योन वो बोलते शायद कृष्ण ने द लगा के गलती कर दिया, वहां स लगाना कर दिया, सुख योनया एवते. See, usually the jiva thinks what? यही संस्पर्श जब होगा सुख योनया एवते. But actually Krishna is changed the word. Dukkha yona. He has not changed the word. They have changed the word. Krishna made it like that one. So, see, consequently, they are becoming more and more implicated in the complex machinery of stringent laws of nature. See, Vedic culture was joint family. Then they went to nuclear family. In nuclear family, you keep seeing each other only. After seeing each other, what happens? The person gets fed up with each other. Then divorces. Better, why to go for divorce? Better a living relationship. And living relationship, but child will be anyway born after sex. So have abortion, and contraceptives. So more and more sinful activity. And after all this thing has been done, then the person is feeling still dissatisfied in that. I did sex life. I thought sex life is the end of life, end of happiness. But this is also not giving happiness. I think I had to change my gender also. So now they're changing gender also. Oh my God, beta, why don't you live your life? Why don't she live her life and do what is God's plan? She can be a mother, you can be a father, you can have children, be happy with each other and go back to garden also. So when you go away from the Lord's plan, more and more complicated materialistic plan they make, more and more artificial life they will lead, and they will think this may make us happy. They will become more and more troublesome. So both the government and the citizens should responsibly handle Varnashram. Can you imagine after gender change, what is Varnashram? If a man has become woman now, what is his dharma? What is her dharma? Sorry, his or her, kya bole, pata nahi. Like now in America, it is politically incorrect to say that father and mother, because you don't know who is father, who is mother. You say parent one, parent two. Very dangerous government, dangerous problem. And if you talk about this transgender and all, this is not proper things to, this is not proper dharma. They will put a case on you only. The government will be against you only if you speak anything against all this, whatever they have. There are many LSGPT, something, I don't remember what. Huh? LGBTQ something. All these different, some full forms are there. Anyway, crazy things. Okay, so let's read ahead now. Tasmin stushte kim aprapyam. Tasmin stushte kim aprapyam jagatam ishvare lokasakala hi tasmai arati valimamrita.
The Supreme Personality Godhead is worshipped by the great demigods, controllers of universal prayer. When he is satisfied, nothing is impossible to achieve. For this reason, are the demigods presiding deities of different planets as well as the inhabitants of their planet. Take great pleasure in offering all kinds of paraphernalia for his mercy.
See, everyone should satisfy the Supreme Lord. Yatha Taror Mool Nashich Nishechan. So that is the age-old truth. But when people go away from that, then they get trouble. See, here it's mentioning Tasmin Tushte Kim Aprapyam. If someone satisfies the Supreme Lord, what is unachievable? Like Srila Prabhupada, when he preached Krishna consciousness, he was only here to satisfy the Supreme Lord. You know the single sincere soul letter of Prabhupada? One sincere soul. See, I'll show you one. See, read this, in my opinion. Read, Prabhu.
In my opinion, a single sincere soul can maintain a center. I started the center at 26 second avenue alone. I took the risk of $20,000.
Maybe $200.
$200 per month for the rent. At that time, there was no assistance. Mukunda was at that time afraid, but there was no responsibility for him for maintaining the center. Gradually, Nityananda and Jayaguru were joined, but they did not take any responsibility. Still, I was maintaining the establishment simply depending on Krishna, and then Krishna came to me everything. Man, money. Similarly, the sincere soul goes out and opens a center in any part of the world. Krishna will help in all respects. Without being empowered by Krishna, nobody can bring Krishna consciousness. It is not academic qualification or financial strength which helps in these matters, but it is sincerity of purpose which helps us always.
So without being empowered by Krishna, Prabhupada writes in first canto about Yudhishthira Maharaj, that one should become recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the leader is recognized by the Supreme Lord. Oh, he is my boy, he is my guy. Then he will be empowered by the Lord and he can do miracles for the world. So here he is saying, you Sadhu Swarup, you can take care of Boston, Mukunda, San Francisco, Janardhan, Montreal, like that. In this way, you will follow by example at 26 Security. See this? I never thought about the audience. I was prepared to chant if there were no men to hear me. The principle of chanting is to glorify the Lord and not to attract a crowd. If Krishna hears nicely, then he will ask some sincere devotee to gather in such a place. So the devotion service is acted to give pleasure to Krishna. And such a Prabhupada said, we don't want professional singers in our Kirtan team. We want only pure devotees. Then devotee thought, are pure devotees? Then Prabhupada, you only will be singing. He said, no, pure devotees means those are just sincerely calling out to the Lord. All of you devotees, you are sincere devotees. You don't have to be very professional. Like if you see our dancing also, it's not like we are doing some very organized steps always. Of course, we have some basic organization. But you have seen like people when they do very complicated orchestrated dramas and dances, we are like, koi idhar ghum raha hai, koi udhar aise kar raha hai. We are dancing in ecstasy. So the Lord wants devotees to be happy in Sankirtan program. And when devotees genuinely want to please the Lord through Sankirtan, then the Lord will send more people. If there is, be advised that thousands of centers may be started if we find a sincere soul for each and every center. If there is one sincere soul, that is sufficient to start a center. So that's the point here, what I'm mentioning. I was saying that. Here. Tasmin to take him up proper. So Rajambhu was mentioning about Srila Prabhupada, that the Prabhupada married Yadurani Mataji and sorry, not Yadurani Mataji, Jagat Tarini Mataji and Gurujan. Actually, Jagat Tarini Mataji is coming from a film background or actress type of background. And Gurujan who is like a Brahmanical person, but they came together and lived happily together to serve Prabhupada's mission. So you will see when great souls desire to please Krishna, many people become aligned just because the desire is in alignment with the Supreme Lord. So they can, even the personal differences, people can walk on. So for this reason, all the demigod presiding deities of different planets, as well as inhabitants of their planets, take great pleasure in offering all kinds of paraphernalia for his worship. Like when Prabhupada wanted to purchase fisher manor, so he had taken Amrish Prabhu and there was one more. A lady. Later. Lekha? Shawan. So I don't know the lady's name. So anyway, so they both contributed and over just few hours of talk finished. Fisher mention was ISKCON's property. So Prabhupada had no money. Prabhupada said, I came empty-handed. I am going empty-handed. But on the way, I made this Krishna's property. So why do they want to give everything? Prabhupada told that Jawaharlal Nehru had to pay a very handsome amount for 2 Englishmen to be his servants. But now so many Englishmen are serving me whole day, they're surrendering their life. I don't give them a single penny. Prabhupada instead told, why? Because I am offering them Krishna. So if someone is satisfying Krishna, the whole world wants to surrender. One devotee was telling, his only Bhakti Madhurya Govind Maharaj was telling, that when Srila Prabhupada in the Mayapur temple hall, he would ring the bell, the whole universe will dance. And Prabhupada was, Radhesham was saying that it is not an exaggeration, that a great soul can make the whole world dance to Krishna's steps. Actually, yesterday only Keshav was saying that the wave that Prabhupada created, everyone was surrendering at such a pace. What was happening? Radha Damodar party, Radha Damodar party was not increasing devotees. It was increasing buses of devotees. They'll go to one city, distribute books, and like they would, inside was Tamal Krishna Maharaj or Paramapuja Vishnu Maharaj. They will send that boy inside. How will come a Shevan, and he also starts distributing books. And by the next city, they have more buses because they can't fit the people in. Kind of way, you can't imagine now, क्या कर रहे थे वो लोग? You've seen some photos of Radha Damodar Patil? You? No? That is all, it is all the magic of the great soul's orchestration. Okay, so we go ahead now. Tam sarvaloka marayagnya sangraham rahimai yajnamayam abomay yajnay vichintray yajato bhavayate rajan sutoshan
Along with the predominating deity is the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices and all penance. The Supreme Lord is the sum total of the three Vedas, the owner of everything, the ultimate goal of all us. Therefore, your countrymen should engage in performing various sacrifices for motivation. Indeed, you should always direct them towards the offering of sacrifice.
See, when someone becomes a leader, like Israel's Bhakti Vikas Maharaj was telling, that he will make a big temple for making a lot of people come to Krishna. But problem is when you make a big temple, then you have to have big donors. And then you can't tell frankly the truth. Because if you tell the truth, then they will say, hey, you are cutting my Sangha. So he said it's a paradox. On one hand, you want the big temple for telling truth to many people. But after that, you can't tell the truth in the assembly because there are big. So he told Radhashambhu, they're making a big temple, but you make a big temple where truth is also spoken frankly. Like that kind of Sankirtan should go on. Nice. So why I'm mentioning this, that sometimes many endeavors may be done by people, but that endeavor, if it is not pleasing to the Supreme Lord, then it will become burden on the Jivas. So the Lord should be satisfied with all our endeavors. Otherwise, it will become bhargai, not sargai. Okay. And all the Brahmanas?
Brahman indeed perform sacrifices in the kingdom. All the demigods were literally expensive to the Lord will be very much satisfied by the activities and will give you desired blessing. Therefore, O hero, do not stop the sacrifice performances. If you stop them, you will disrespect the demigods.
See, again, although they're telling about what problem he is already doing, but they're telling in a very positive way, right? If suppose they say, therefore, what you have done now, stopping the sacrifice is a very bad thing. But how they think? But therefore, do not stop this. If you stop, then you will disrespect the demigods. No? They are very, very respectful people, right? Actually, if you meet such a guy, how do you keep patience? Very difficult, no? What do you say? Difficult to keep patience, no? Such a guy. But they had the sovereignty of consciousness. Okay, now Vena steps. Oh, till now Brahmana have now done their part. Let us see what Vena says. Vena vacha Kalisha patayu yamba adharme dharma manina ye vritikam patim vitva charam patim upasate.
You better reply. You are not non-experienced. It's very much regrettable that you are maintaining something which is not religious and are accepting it as religious. Indeed, I think you are giving up your real husband who maintains you and are searching after some paramount worship.
See, my God, very dangerous. See, he's speaking to Brahmanas words which are, you should not speak to your subordinate also, you know. Actually, he's saying you are being, like that means you are prostitute basically. If you are a prostitute, you are giving up husband and you're going with a paramour. Who are they calling the paramour? The demigod. That you are saying that you should worship the demigods. But I am the pati. I am maintaining you. Because physically, who maintains the Brahmanas? The king. So he's saying, I am their maintainer. You are giving up your pati. So he's thinking he is above the Brahmanas. He is thinking I can lord over the Brahmanas also. See, when you see the completely contrasting behavior of Prithu, I was even thinking if time permits, we will do one table of Vena versus Prithu. See, when four Kumaras came, Prithu Maharaj says that this whole property belongs to the Brahmanas. In fact, we are jokers. We know the Patram. He says we are always indebted to the Brahmanas. And this is something that we have taken from the Brahmanas and we have to give back to the Brahmanas only. That means he is taking kingship and the kingship of the world as the property of the Brahmanas. Here the king is saying, I am maintaining you. Completely crazy he has become. So 23 to 27, he will show his craziness. So lording over mentality, rejecting authority. Two things. Lording over means he is using his power in wrong way and trying to dominate over people. And rejecting authority. Who are his authorities? The Brahmanas. And he is making them also get lorded over. So Rajambu was giving example of crowd control. Sometimes someone is given a crowd control role and he is given a stick. And this fellow, instead of saying, hey, Haribol, line mein chalo, line mein chalo, line mein chalo. So he is beating that fellow, Imagine our chowkidar start doing this. They will complain actually. The public will complain. What is this? Sir, I was controlling the crowd. Crowd control ka tarika hota. So power is given, but there should be a healthy position of power. Not that we overuse the power and lord over people. That like हमारे पास ही सारा चाबी का गुच्छा है. अभी तुम देखो क्या करोगे. Like अगर तुम मेरी बात नहीं मानोगे तुम्हारा इनिशिएशन रुकवा देंगे. You getting ना? So initiation रुकवा. There is one. I'll quickly show you this one. Kante Prabhu made one PPT. You will be haste haste. See, this is a TP. What is the spiritual function of the recommendation, Prabhu? To show them who is the boss. How do you see if someone is ready to be recommended? I make them wait forever. If they give signs of impatience, I don't recommend them. I don't see Bhaktaji anymore. I made him wait 14 years for the recommendation. When I asked him to wait some more, he left and took initiation in body of mind. These people have no patience. I joined ISKCON 38 years ago. Oh, I am chanting 16 now for 29 years. I am falling for 27 years. I have been asking recommendation for 23 years. Now you tell me you don't know me well enough. So basically, he's quoting what happened to him. He was waiting for recommendation. I don't care if you have been chanting around and following for the last 5 years. If you say you are not recommended, you are not recommended. No. So anyway, I'm just giving a lighter one. So sometimes actually people take dominating mentality for whatever role they have been. See, they have been given a role by the GBC for seeing that good souls get recommended and some mischievous souls should not get in. But imagine that guy is now अच्छा वाला बच्चा है बेचारा उसको recommendation, but he is not taking from my Guru Maharaj. अभी इसको तो देंगे ही नहीं. हाँ, recommendation जब तक he does not choose the right Guru, how can I give him? So very dangerous people also. Happens or not happens? Happens. Like Rajabu gives one voice example. He tells that one time one devotee was studying in church. So one boy came. Actually, we should not eat and drink in the study room. So one devotee came with a milk glass because he was supposed to study, but he was hungry also, so he took milk. And then he went for a bathroom. He left the milk glass there. And this devotee, later he came, he couldn't find the milk glass. Later he found it in the dustbin. So when this point reached to the host, he said, why you threw that thing in the dustbin? That's what, no, bro. It was told that we should not keep any glass in the study room. So I told him, this is not proper. So I threw it in the dustbin. See, giving the glass, giving some punishment does not mean throwing the glass in the dustbin. One time, one study in charge, what he did, if you don't do your study quota, you will get, when you get chow mein, you will get only one single piece of chow mein. Single noodle. Now, it is better to not give noodle than to give a single noodle. Can you imagine such a punishment? He comes with his plate and one noodle, So he will be like, Rajam will say, what type of ruthless fellow you are? You are not feeling compassionate. So this is trying to lord over people. Abhi dikha deta hu kaun hai, So that way we may be wrong. And so this is lording over and rejecting authority, He gave a Brahmana authority. So sometimes people may become autonomous. Avajananti Ami Muda. See, he's talking like Krishna only. Avajananti Mam Muda. He has remembered some slokas now. Avajananti ami muda niparupinam ishwaram nanu vinnanti te patram yaloke paratracha.
Those who out of curiosity do not worship the king, who is actually the supreme prophet of God and experience happiness neither in this world nor in the world.
Exactly like Krishna only, but थोड़ा बदल दिया अपना. Very dangerous concept. को यज्ञ पुरुषो नाम यत्र वो भक्ति दृषि भर्तृस्नेह विदुराणाम यथा जाने कुयोषिता.
You are so much devoted to the demigod, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for this demigod is exactly like the affection of such a woman who neglects her married life. It gives all attention to her character.
Okay, read the next one.
Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of air, Yama, the superintendent of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Subera, the treasurer, the moon god, the predominating deity of the earth, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of waters, and all others are great and competent to bestow benedictions, all to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as the reservoir of all demigods. For simply parts and parcels of the king's body.
My God. Actually, what he's telling in one sense is true also. Because Naradev, when we say, so Naradev means he represents all these demigods and the Supreme Lord. But now the problem is, yes, he's telling that he only should be served. That means I am only the Dev. He's rejecting all the Devtas and the Supreme Lord to be served. Na yoshtavyam, na datavyam, wo sab band kar do, sir mere ko hi. Like one fellow in communist regime in the USSR, former USSR, he had banned all worship and he made his own putlas in 150, 200 putlas to put up all across the country. See, he wants himself to be in the position of God. He wants everyone to know him. These are demonic people. So he is false because he is taking that role thereafter of being subordinate to the superiors, the Lord and the Brahmins. So, you know the story of. See, now he is going to be killed. अभी होने वाला है उसका विचार. तो उससे पहले ही आपको स्टोरी दिखाई. You know this frog. Bhakti Nanda story is very powerful. Once upon a time, a frog by chance noticed a half-rupee coin in the river bank. Hey, I got a coin! While getting the half-rupee coin, the frog became puffed up and thought, is there anyone else as rich as I am now? If the king's elephant comes this time to drink water here, I'll chain him up. I won't let him drink water here again. Meditating thus, the frog sat tightly with a half-rupee coin on the bank of the pond. Hey, the king's elephant is coming. Let me chain him off. In order to chain the elephant, the frog immediately jumped off and threw himself near the feet of the elephant. Instantly, he lost his life under the elephant's feet. Ram Nam Satya hai, bas ho gaya. So, those who are simply puffed up with their great sphere of mundane activities in this material world prove themselves to be insignificant like a half-rupee coin of the frogs whenever they are confronted with the real situation of real assessment. So what it is saying, see here, now what has happened? The whole world is worshipping him as the emperor, Verna. So he has become that half-rupee coin wala emperor, the frog. He is thinking, I am the boss. But now Brahmanas will say, Acha, Punar Mushika Bhava. See, you know the sages story, na? The sages made a mouse into cat, cat was begging then into a dog was made a tiger. The tiger is, roaring at the sage only. Then Punar Mushika. Now you see what happens in it. The king Veda continued, for this reason, no Brahmana, you should abandon your envy of me, and by your ritualistic activities, you should worship me and offer all paraphernalia to me. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me who can accept the first oblations of your sacrifice. Crazy, no? Now, Maitrivacha, Itham Viparya Mati Papiyan Patam Kata Anuniyamanas Yajnam Nachakre Prashtamambala. Read.
The Greek says, "My continue. Thus, the king who became unintelligent due to his simple life and deviation from the right path became actually bereft of all good fortune. He could not accept the requests of the great saints, which the sages put before him with great respect, and therefore he was content.
So the great sages were having great respectful disposition. They were not outrightly saying, "Arey, you fool, you rascal, you villain, we put you on the roll, what nonsense you are doing." You know, they were very sober. Oh, hero, do this, don't do that. It will be nice for you. You will get fame, you will get ayu. All that went to deaf ears for him. So, unintelligent due to sinful life. So when someone is sinful, vinashakale viprita buddhi, his intelligence is finished from sinful life and deviation from the right path. These two have to be given up. See what deviation Vena had? He thought himself as Supreme Lord. He stopped all the yagna and all. And then he was wanting himself to be worshipped. So such a person, he takes to, he's becoming, see, he's unintelligent because he has lost the intelligence coming from the great souls. That is why then he resorts to all type of nonsense. So we should also be careful in not taking to sinful life and always doing the right practices in devotional life. That means we should do the morning program austerities. Some people, when see, initially the person does not deviate to gross sinful activity. First, he may deviate to not do the required austerities in his life. Then gradually his life will become very materialistically colored. And then he'll say, इतना भी भगवान के बारे में डायरेक्ट नहीं बोलना चाहिए. Preaching में भी ना थोड़ा सा बैलेंस करके बोलना चाहिए. And then he will say, अरे प्रभुपाद बुक ज्यादा ही हो जाता है ना, हेवी बातें होती है, थोड़ा कुछ और पढ़ो, लाइट बात करो, थोड़ा आजकल का पॉलिटिक्स की बात करो, देखो क्या चल रहा है दुनिया में, कुछ होना चाहिए आजकल देश में क्या चल रहा है, ये बातें करनी क्या, यू शुड बी सोशली अवेयर, नो ऐसे बोल के ना. So then gradually they will dilute their austerities, and then one day they will be seen falling down with the woman. So one has to be careful in executing his duties. Okay, so now, my dear Vidura, all good fortune unto you. The foolish king thought himself very learned, thus insulted the great sages, and sages being broken-hearted by the king's words, became very angry at him. So Prabhu Radhesham was mentioning that, see, the sages did not become broken-hearted because he insulted them. They became broken-hearted because he insulted the Supreme Lord and the demigods. So modern situation is, if someone speaks against you, then one becomes broken-hearted. But Brahmanas are very substantial people. They don't break because mere baare mein aisa kaise bola. They break when the Lord's authority is challenged or they're seeing aparadh happening to the Lord. So they were very concerned. Anyatamesha Papa Prakriti Dharana Jeevan Jagat Asavashu Kurute Asmasa Dhruvam.
All the great scientific soldiers immediately cried, kill him, kill him. He is the most dreadful sinful person. If he lives, he will certainly turn the whole world into ashes.
So they are told, nine. First, we will try to give him good advice. If he is not, then to marne padega. Saintly persons are generally read.
Saintly persons are generally very kind to all kinds of beings, but they are not unhappy when a serpent or scorpion is killed. It is not good for saintly persons to kill, but they are encouraged to kill demons, who are exactly like serpents or scorpions. Therefore, all the saintly sages decided to kill King Vena, who was so dreadful and dangerous to all human society. We can appreciate the extent to which the saintly sages actually control the king. If the king of the government becomes demoniac, it is the duty of saintly person to upset the government and replace it with deserving persons to follow the orders and instructions of saintly persons.
So 30 to 34, you will see, and who persecutes great souls loses everything. He loses life also. So see, communism, I was telling, they're atheistic, but they now gone down in power. So yeah. Modet sadhu rapi, chik sarpa. That the sages also delight in snake being killed. And a snake like man is more dangerous than snakes also. Now, here also and earlier also Rajesh Shankar talked about very important theme that knowledge should control the power and money. So basically, Brahmanical class should take care that the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas do proper duties. But when the ruling is improper, then the Brahmanical class becomes subordinate to the economic lords and political power. Like now, when that happens, that time you cannot speak boldly the dharma. Nowadays, many people take money for education. If you take money for education, then you cannot be bold in speaking the truth. That is why Vedic culture was that the Brahmana would never take money. Guru Dakshina is another thing, but it was not like a feast. That is why he was carrying respect. And I told Chanakya said, okay, I am resigning. So he can resign also. He is not enslaved by the king's dictate. The Brahmanas are so powerful that, oh, you are not following the program of the Lord, then get lost. They could have handled that way also. So, of course, it is the rarest thing that the Brahmanas would do, but they were not enslaved by the king's dictate. So that is why. So in the modern time, there is a lot of contamination to the Brahmanical program also. Like even in ISKCON, you will see that sometimes devotees think that we can earn money through YouTube channels. Actually, it's not a very good idea because see, we are selling off our position as a Brahmana to advertise some other persons, some product which may be wrong product also. It may be a Kali Yuga product. So we may be thinking we are getting money for Krishna's service only, but we are also coming down from the Brahmanical program. We have become a businessman to earn money by selling their product. And what that product is telling, that karma will come to us also. Because if that product is sinful, if that product causes papa that we are advertising, that way it is not a very good idea. So Rajesh Ambu told that my channel should have no advertisement. And he said, but YouTube always, it has a prerogative that you can put, he can put advertisement even otherwise. Rajesh was then shift from YouTube only. So we checked his channel. For 99% of the videos, no advertisement comes in his channel because he's not using that AdSense. So then it's best. So we should not be into getting money for Brahmanical service. Similarly, he told for all the training program that we have, we should not demand, we should not ask money. But we can ask some meager money, which is like for commitment. Some people say, na, मुझे पैसा नहीं लो तो commitment नहीं आता है. Okay, ask that commitment, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? And a caution fees or some, huh? Sincerity fees. अच्छा, that term is also covered. Sincerity. Huh? Okay, sincerity fees. There's some kind of a commitment. Otherwise, boy will say, "यार कुछ तो दिया नहीं है तो छोड़ो ना, चला भी गया तो कोई बात नहीं." So, but we should be careful that we should not lose our Brahmanical status of practice. We should not become like money minded. Okay. So we are okay. We have some time. Maybe today we can cover the party also. Chalo, jaldi kar do. Yes.
The saintly sages continue. His impious, impudent man does not deserve to sit on the throne and power. He is so saintly that he even dared insult the supreme personality of God and Lord Vishnu.
So it is said that one should not tolerate the blasphemy and insults against the Lord and his devotees. So read, however, pure devotee.
However, pure devotee immediately becomes fiery with anger when he sees that the Lord Vishnu or his devotee is insulted. This is the duty of a devotee. Although a devotee maintains an attitude of meekness and gentleness, it is a great fault on his part if he remains silent when the Lord or his devotee is blasphemed.
That is why Prabhupada would become like fire on seeing Mayavad being spoken. You know incidences, no? When he went to some public forum and someone is speaking Mayavad, Prabhupada immediately he told all the devotees to come on the stage and chant, start kirtan, Hari Bol, stop this whole business only, very radical steps he took sometimes. He would not let this Mayavadi fellow speak on him. How can Mayavad be spoken? So sometimes you may be thinking, is this socially, huh? Right behavior too much, it is. So actually it is because Prabhupada had genuine love for Krishna. That love for Krishna is evoking strong feelings of pain that my Lord is being blasted like this. He cannot control. And it is a bhushan on the devotee, not the dushan. But he has so much love that he cannot see. Here he's saying this is the duty of a devotee. Of course, we should know what we should do in every situation. Like I know about once, this one is Shivaram Maharaj. He saw one Mayavadi speaker on the stage also. So then he debated with him. No, he debated with him personally. That you are saying this, but is this true? Is this right? Talk, talk, talk. So he cut him down actually. I don't know what happened after that in the public arena. That I'm not having the documentation, but we should be careful to not just leave without doing something. I mean, of course, if we cannot handle it, then we can leave also. But we should not be party to it. Okay. But for Vena,
But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the supreme personality of God,
who would bless?
who would blaspheme the supreme personality of God, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulence.
All the opulence is gift from the Lord.
The great sages, thus manifesting their covert anger, immediately decided to kill the king. King Vena was already as good as dead due to his blasphemy against the supreme personality of God. Thus, without using any weapon, the sages killed King Vena simply by high sounding words.
Ittam vyavasita antum vishaya rudam manyava nijagno hum kritai venam atam achyuta nindaya. He did achyut nindaya. He was already dead. But now they did hunkar. Hunkar. Hum kritai was mar gaya wo. No weapon used. So that is what is mentioned.
After all the sages returned to their respective hermitages, the mother of King Vena, Sunita, became very much aggrieved because of her son's death. She decided to preserve the dead body of her son by the application of certain ingredients and by chanting mantras.
See, again sentimental attachment coming. He is dead now, he should be burnt, no? But he is maintaining. Of course, something good happened after that. Because it was but that was not her idea. Her idea was born out of ignorant bodily attachment to her son. Otherwise, one should simply burn the body and let the person move ahead towards his further journey. So this sentiment. Now, ekada mune aste tu saraswat shalila apata udvagni sat katashtakrut upavishta sarentate. So now Vena is dead and Sunita has preserved his body. Now the next part starts.
Once upon a time, the same 70 persons, after taking their bath, the river Saraswati began to perform their daily duties by offering oblations to the sacrificial flowers. After they setting on the bank of the river, they began to talk about the transcendental person and its possibilities.
So Rajambu says, see, after the Vena is killed, now what are they doing? They are doing their basic, yajna and all. And along with that, they're doing Harikatha. Not that हमने देखो उसको कैसे मार दिया, अरे वो ये कर रहा था, अभी देखो क्या होगा, ये होगा. They are not into prajalpa about the political world. Now they are concerned about talking about the transcendent personality. So Radha Shambhu was mentioning that even as devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement, we should be careful to not talk too much of the anomalies of Kaliva. You should talk in brief. Like Sukdev Goswami said, Chodha Vyadini Rajendra, Inam, Santi Sahasraja. So some things he said, Chodha Vyadini, many thousands of subjects they have. What all subjects they have, he did not list. Chodha Vyadini Rajendra. And that is actually Graham Medina. But we should do glorification of the Lord. One who does not hear the glorification of the Lord is here the snake holes and tuck, he starts into the positive direction in the sense of glorification of the Lord. And if you see the larger context of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's more about Supreme Lord's glorification. So we should nourish our hearts with glorification. Sometimes some devotees, In the Bhagavatam also, they speak so much of the clutter or the nonsense of this world. Na? Afterward, you feel a headache. क्या हुआ पता नहीं. कुछ तो बहुत ही खराब हो रहा है दुनिया में. You get drained out at. Have you seen sometimes? You feel drained out. ये पाप हो गया, वो पाप है, ये है, वो है. No. So we should be Krishna conscious, not like another conscious, and not like Kali Yuga conscious. International society को Kali Yuga conscious. We become we are not enemies of Kali. We are proponents of Krishna, conscious. So we know that Kali can trouble Kali Krishna consciousness, so we can do more Sankirtan. That's what our Parikshit Maharaj did. Parikshit Maharaj said, okay, you said 4 places, na? 5 places where Kali will reside. Okay, in the 5 places, I will not let the 5 places be there. 4 places will not be there, and the money which is there, I used to do all Sankirtan. And the Sankirtan will make the devotees elevated, all jivas elevated, so they will not lead to any co-regulative principle breaking. So this is how a devotee should always try to increase the Sankirtan. Recently, when Isunus Giriraj Swami Maharaj had come, so I was asking him questions that Maharaj, sometimes people see that this problem is now there is a lot of tension, so many wars are there. No, there is a lot of tension in the world. And in India also people are becoming polarized, Hindu, Muslim, Hindu. So Maharaj said that at this kind of junctures, we should think of how we should spend more, we should ensure more profuse distribution of Srila Prabhupada books. So that will Janataga Viplava. What is that verse? Did you start? Tadvag Sargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Pradishlokam Abadhavatyapi. So he's saying that when the Janata is Aga, it can bring a Viplava, revolution in the misdirected life of civilization by Tadvag Sargo Janataga. Sorry, that by glorification of the Supreme Lord. Harikatha should go on. So it is very important for us to increase Harikatha. So all of you, many of you, of course, you are all Bhakti Shatri. All of you, it is good if you can start some, like if you are youth preachers, you can start some programs. If you are temple devotees also, you can start some programs for congregation also. It is good. Like you know this temple, Mukul Lohiyaji's temple, Ram temple, they have been asking, do something here, but we have no one to send there. You want to go there? It's a good, no, not that you will be sent there as a deputed and left there. You can go from here. There a lot of people come, but no one is there to do good programs. You can start a program for them. They're beautiful temple hall and everything. And they're ready to supply prasadam, everything. We had started also with one devotee later. The devotee he had to change his ashram. So that time that program started. Right now it's paused on. So like that, there is a lot of opportunity. Many people are inviting for doing some katha. And I'm sure all of you are very, बहुत सुन लिया आप लोगों ने तो कर भी सकते हो ना ऐसा you can speak बिना सपने में भी बोलेंगे तो एक तो lecture दे ही दोगे. People don't know basic things also what we, even a device boys know, they know much more than the average citizens of this world. Very katha jodi, please. Okay, ready sir. Anyone ready for that? मैं बोल दूंगा तुरंत राजेश को बोल रेडी हो गया. You raise hand for that or this? नहीं ये बहुत ठीक है फिर मैं बात करता हूँ. चलो ये प्रोग्राम का एक फायदा हो गया भक्ति राम का एक अगर यस.
In those days, there were very disturbances in the country that were creating a panic in society. Therefore, all the sages began to talk amongst themselves. Since the king is dead and there is no protector in the world, misfortune may befall the people in general on account of rogues and thieves.
So now again they are also thinking of the problems. See, even though
70% have no business in political affairs, they are always compassionate upon the people in general. Thus, even though they are always aloof from society, out of mercy and compassion,
They consider how the citizens can peacefully execute their rituals and follow the rules and regulations of formation.
So again, Prabhupada is bringing the point about they are aloof from society. So generally, the sages and saints are not going to be too much meddling with the political affairs of the world. But right now, they are again seeing that things are becoming disturbing. So they may again take some role, but they will think what role we should take. Not that now rogues and thieves are increasing. So first we killed Vena, now we'll kill rogues and thieves. That's not what we will do. So the sages are concerned. See, strong government required to keep thieves and rogues away or inactive. They're thinking now how to do that. So, okay, it will come. See,
Both for spiritual and material prosperity, everyone should devote his hand to the Hare Krishna.
yeah. So basically, as Brahmanas, one thing we have to do is that we should preach the message. We should not be unconcerned about the society. Okay, we
When the great sages were carrying on their discussion in this way, they saw a dust storm arising from all directions. This storm was caused by the running of thieves and rogues who were engaged in plundering the citizens. Upon seeing the dust storm, the saintly persons could understand that there were a great deal of irregularities due to the death of King Red. Without government, the state was devoid of law and order, and consequently, there was great uprising of murderers, thieves, and rogues who were plundering the riches of people in general. Although the great sages could subdue the disturbance of by their powers, just as they could be the king, they considered it improper on their part to do so. Thus, they did not attempt to stop the disturbance. It is not the duty of Brahmanas and saintly persons to kill, although they may sometimes do so in the case of an injustice.
so as I had mentioned earlier, that when it came to the king only becoming like a rogue and thief, then the Brahmins had to take direct action. In that also, first they applied training education method. But finally they had to kill him. That was the ultimate situation. But when it comes to rogues and thieves, if now they start killing rogues and thieves, then their own consciousness will become contaminated. See, now think about it. Imagine when some fellow is coming, he's a chappal chor, he comes into the temple. And imagine our brahmachari being some fellow there, no? Purana, rasa, abhi to, wo apna apna chappal, hey, isko maro, you know. Can you imagine if the public sees brahmacharis beating a chore with chappal? What will happen? Do you think it's a good idea? Although you may be punishing the wrong guy, but you have to do it through someone who has got the role which has to be done. A brahmachari seal like that is not a good thing. Similarly, as I mentioned about Vishwamitra did not want to kill directly, but get Ram. Similarly, here now the sages are thinking, Hare, more rogues and these are coming. Now we have to again put up a king. So let us do something for that. So they will think of now bringing Ritu. No? Ritu energy will come on. So that will come in the next chapter. So okay, this topic will take tomorrow onwards. So they will think of the citizens' welfare. They will bring up so they are not aloof, and then they will bring up Bahuka. Bahuka is a sinful part of Vena, and then they will next chapter comes Pridumara. So I think I have really, today I covered up the yesterday's slowness. This part is very short. And after that, tomorrow, in one session, we'll do next chapter. And half of the next chapter, that means half of 16 we'll cover in the second half. And then on Monday, we'll do the second half of 16 chapter and 17. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ji. Shadwajarambu, you can personally give me some feedback.
You so meticulously heard all the recordings of Radheshampu and repeating, because I also heard the section from Radheshampu. So whatever notes I wrote, it is very much matching with what you are saying.
So I'm a copycat. But
Amazed
that's
at your loyalty, at your parampara
it.
transmission.
I don't have anything on mind. Yes. Thank you. So you are so tolerant that you are hearing me despite having heard from Radhesham also. That's your kindness. Very good. Srila Prabhupada, please.